Yo, what is going on, everybody? How are we doing today? Hope everyone's having a good day. I'm just making my social media posts, make sure everybody knows what's going on with the stream, because as always, YouTube's awful at notifying people that we're streaming. But I hope you guys are all having a great Friday so far. Absolutely love to see all of you guys here today. Whether if it's daytime for you, nighttime for you, afternoon time for you, whether you just had Din Din, you just had Brekkie, whatever point in the day it is, I hope you have either already killed it or are about to kill it. Let me go ahead. Let me jump into chat now that I've finished everything that I need to do. What's up, Ooh? What's up, Yellow Burb? Danderson. What's up, Jesse? Zachary Loomer with the hype train already taken off in the beginning with the $20 dono. Thank you very much. Said Black Clash. Nice to see you again. Appreciate it. Nice to see everybody. Yeah, it's been a while, though. The long Megabum better be F. We'll get to it. I got Megami all the way at the back because he's definitely someone that I want to get through the rest of the characters. Like, a lot of the main characters are going to be more towards the end, so it gives you something to be excited for, right? Got some of the more basic characters in the very beginning, but we still got some good characters. That's the one good thing about a series like Jujutsu Kaisen. You know, we've got S, A, B, C, NPC tier, and then trash and forgettable tier. Trash and forgettable tier is just mainly going to be for just, what are you even doing here? The story would have been better, frankly, if you weren't here. Please get out of the story. And then we have NPC, which are characters that are just like, okay, I mean, it's okay that you're here, but you still don't have to be here. There's nothing really about you. You know, you're not trash, you're not a fraud, you're not forgettable, but you are indeed still an NPC. And then we of course have CBAS, you know, and then it goes up from there. If Yuji's arms are a curse tool, how do you think they go on for someone to use? So, like, Yuji's arm is one of the craziest things because people have been asking what the hell is going on with my man's arms for so long now, and we still have not gotten any response or question or answer. It's so simple. Gege has drawn them in for color pages 5 to 6 times and has explained them not once. I would imagine they're just a curse tool. I don't know if they're a part of his, like, eating of the other death paintings and the other cursed objects. They could possibly be that could be what it is, but at the same time, it could not be what it is at all. Hey, we got Loud Gaming in the chat. What's going on? Have to leave in 20 minutes, so I'm gonna probably miss Gojo being ranked. Unfortunately, yes, you will miss Gojo being ranked. But I can let you know, don't fear, Gojo won't be yes. I promise you, Jesse. I can already tell you right now. Hey, yo, thanks for becoming a member, Myers. Appreciate it. What's up, No Ways? Watch until I see my goat Ishigori. Oh, oof. Ishigori is a cool character. I'll definitely have plenty of good things to say about Ishigori. Mario Buster said, don't worry, I'll rank Gojo NPC for you. Damn, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. W stream? Hey, I appreciate that. Let's go. We can call it a day. 7 minutes and we're already at a W stream. All right, let me hit the end stream button. We're done. What's up? How you ranking this? Like I said, it's going to be just based on how I feel about them as a character, how well they're written, how much they've developed, and just how I feel about them in general. It won't really be like a power scaling stream or anything like that. What's up, Giano? Keeps kicking you off? That stinks. That's annoying. Would I want the copy technique of Yuta and Rika or Yuji's eating technique? I'd probably take Yuta's copy. 100% I'd take Yuta's copy. And I'd have Rika to help out with my everyday life. I wouldn't have to fold laundry anymore. I would just make Rika do it. That'd be pretty fire. Gonna need my help on this Elden Ring DLC. I cannot help you at all. I'm sorry. No. Oh, no, 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 no. Only the Lord can help you with that. And I don't even think he can do that. Oh my goodness. With the 10 gifted Myers. Woo. Appreciate the big buck dono. Thank you. Thank you for the love. That's huge. Let's go. Let's go. We need some of that energy, some of that spirit bomb energy sent to Mario's way so he can beat Mesmer the Impaler. That's huge though. Thank you, Myers. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and get this tier list started in just another minute, guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Like I said, it really helps way more than you know. We're pinged. I've got everything set up on all social media. If you haven't already, please, please, please like and retweet the tweet that I just put out that says we're streaming. It helps get the stream out to people that have not been notified. What do I think of Mesmer's design? Oh, dude. The Elden Ring bosses are some of the best designed bosses of all time. Mesmer's, especially Base Serpent Mesmer. Oh my god, bro. This guy, cool as hell. Cool as hell. No other way to put it but that. Cool as hell. Is there going to be a stream tomorrow? Yes. Yeah, we're going to do a catch-up stream tomorrow. We're going to do a prediction stream where we'll catch up. We'll do some Reddit reactions. We'll do a normal kind of like if you know, you know episode in regards to the weekly chapter, weekly releases coming back. But anyway, let's get into it, guys. Thank you all. We'll start with the very first character, who's, if I'm gonna mispronounce this guy's name, Wasuke. So this is Yuji's grandpa, and as plenty of people have said in chat, he is one of the most important characters in the story without being an important character whatsoever. He showed up in one chapter, and that's literally all he's ever taken part in, and then he died in the first couple pages of that chapter. He's an old man who apparently had a lot of friends back in the day that either died before him or he lost because of dumb, stupid feuds, and ended up dying with the only person being around him, his grandson. Obviously, we know that there's more to Wasuke's story in the background. Yuji and his dad and Yuji's mom being Kenjaku. There's a lot in that family history. Wasuke did not trust Kenjaku for as far as he could throw her, and that's pretty reasonable. It's unknown if Yuji's parents actually died and then Kenjaku moved on, or if Wasuke like abducted Yuji and like kidnapped him and saved him. There's multiple different ways that could be interpreted, but W Grandpa, I have to say I can really only give him a B. I mean I can really only give him a B because he serves his purpose, he does what he needs to do, and that's really it, right? I even hesitate to really give him a B. I would probably give him like a C or something like that, honestly. Maybe like I would normally give him like an NPC tier, but I know, you know, as far as being a plot device, he holds up pretty well. Oh, Loud Gaming with the 10 memberships. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the love. That means the world to me. Let's turn the whole chat green. What's up, China Doll? Walking in. How we doing? So yeah, Weisuke, I'll give Weisuke a B. Again, he gets bumped up a little bit just for being Yuji's grandpa. And again, W grandpa for being sus of Kenjaku and knowing that she had some fuck shit going on in that scenario. But up next, we have Curse Womb. And now, Curse Womb isn't really much of a character. The finger bearer, they have a finger of Sukuna, so they do have some kind of power. When they first show up in the detention center, it's pretty iconic. I won't lie to you. I remember watching that for the first time in the anime, and I was like, holy crap. This guy just cut off Yuji's arm, instantly appeared between them, and is already causing issues. He killed Megami's divine dog. He had a lot of aura. And then obviously Sukuna takes all of that aura away and makes him look like a fucking loser. Megami fights a second finger bearer and is basically just domain fodder. So while I wouldn't say Curse Womb is trash, that's just NPC tier. Just NPC tier. I think for the role they serve in the story, they're perfect. They were menacing when they needed to be, and then when they needed to be getting their ass beat, they got their ass beat. They were a good hurdle for the cast to kind of come over, you know. It was, that's why I really like Origin of Obedience arc, to be completely honest with you, because the cool thing about Origin of Obedience is it was the perfect finale for season 1, because it takes everything that we've culminated together after the exchange event and shows us where the main trio has, how far they've come. That now back in the detention center, we were getting mollywopped by all of these different special grades and high level curse spirits, whereas now in Origin of Obedience, after everything that we've seen and trained for, we can easily tank these, you know, special grade sorcerers. But yeah, NPC tier. Up next, we have Ijichi, obvious S tier. No, but I think Ijichi goes right next to Weisuke Itadori as a B tier. I think that's pretty clear. I think Ijichi, all memes aside, Ijichi is an awesome character. I think he's just, you know, silly hee hee ha ha. He fits the role that he's given. He's the auxiliary manager. He's scared of disappointing and making Gojo upset. He just looks out for everybody. If I would give him S tier in memes all day, every day, but when we're talking real shit, I'm just gonna give Ijichi a B tier. I would definitely give, he deserves S tier. He deserves the world if we want to be real. But yeah, China Doll said I was gonna give memberships, but I think everyone's a member today. That's a sight you'll love to see, baby. Green, emerald green as far as the eye can see. We love that. We love that. Jogo Nation. Up next, we've got Mai Zenin. And let's be completely honest. Let's just call a spade a spade. Mai Zenin is going to be our first trash, forgettable character. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, you know, the sad, the feels, the sorrow that she was forced to be a sorcerer when no one else was able, like she didn't want to be a sorcerer. Oh, she's Maki. If Mai was not Maki's sister, there would be nothing. Mai suffers from the same issue that Kamo Noritoshi suffers from. And that's Gege realizing he gave way too cool of an ability to a character that is not going to use it correctly. And that's just being completely honest. That's just where it is. She exists in the exchange event as a hurdle for Maki to overcome. And she exists in the perfect preparation arc as a hurdle for Maki to overcome so Maki can become a better character. Mai is Maki. They are one and the same. And Mai is just nothing. Yorozu is the better Mai. Mai can sit trash forgettable tier. Absolutely no reason to raise her any higher than what she is. I know people are going to think that's crazy. People should think, what would people honestly, Mai stands, what would you rate her as? Being honest, C, B, does she even deserve to be on the same level as Weisuke and Ijichi? Absolutely not. Maybe NPC at most. NPC at most. Heyo, China Doll with the 10 gifted members. Appreciate it, girl. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We definitely are gonna have all greens in the chat soon enough. B tier because I was sad when she died. Nah, I wasn't even sad when Mai died. I was more happy that my girl got her power up, her well-deserved power up. Mai could have been replaced with any other character. It would have been fine. Gege drew her with a sniper rifle once like she was gonna get some kind of freaking power up. Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. Up next is Momo Nishimiya, the real S tier character, okay? No, not B tier, the real S tier character, okay? Momo is the best. Momo is the queen of Jujutsu Kaisen. She is the greatest character. She is what, remember when everyone was posting MKK? It wasn't Miwa kills Kenjaku, it was Momo kills Kenjaku. No, now obviously I'm just fooling, I'm just playing. Momo Nishimiya is clean as day NPC ass character. Momo is just the girl with the broom. The only reason I would not give Momo trash, the only reason I would not give Momo trash is because she stood her ground and is in the current battle against Sukuna. She's got to get props for that. She's got to get props for that. That's all I will say. Mai has more story than Momo does, which is funny to me. Mai has the whole problem with the Zenin clan. Mai is basically discriminated against, and instead of being a servant, which is what she wants to be, she's forced to be a sorcerer against her will because Maki is, even though she's terrified of cursed spirits. Just insane, you know. But Momo stood her ground against Sukuna, and that's enough for me. That's enough for me entirely. China Doll, thank you for the 25. Appreciate the love. Said bribe donation to put Toji in S tier. Listen. I don't know if we'll need much bribing for that, but we're jumping ahead. But listen, Toji, I think is definitely going to be high up there. I think you'll be happy with where Toji gets placed. I've got a lot to say about Toji. I like Toji. You know a character that I don't like? Miwa Kasumi. Trash, forgettable. She can go right next to Mai in the trash, forgettable tier. Miwa is so trash that she made a binding vow to make herself as strong as possible with the cost of never swinging a sword and basically never being relevant ever again. Not that Miwa was quite relevant to begin with, but she did that binding vow and it fucking broke against Kenjaku's bare hand. She was about to get pieced up by Maximum Uzumaki. Instantly, she can never use a sword again. She is a dead in the water character. What is she there for? Miwa has not done anything the entire series, and I don't know what she has done to garner the amount of respect that she has. But I'm going to tell you right now, not here. The delusion pierced through. We have torn off the veil. There is nothing to hide. The curtain has fallen. Miwa is trash and forgettable, and ain't nothing gonna change my mind in regards to that. Nothing. She's better than Momo, bruh? Absolutely not. I disagree. Momo did not embarrass swordsmen everywhere by wielding a blade. Tiberius, thank you for the 5. This tier list has insulted me twice. Junpei's mother, SMH. Yo, I knew you were gonna have something to say about that. That's so funny, Tiberius. Thank you for the 5. I knew you were gonna say something that they didn't call her by her name. She's got a name. It's Nagi Yoshino. The second one is I don't see Minami Suda on here. Yeah, Minami is not on here. I don't believe so. I do not think so. They skipped both. They skipped your one girl and absolutely disrespected the other one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Weeb Guru, thank you for the 2. Put Naoya in A tier. Man has my respect for writing. We'll get to Naoya for sure. Don't worry. Naoya, like I've said it before, Naoya is a real good Ramsey Bolton ass character for me. So despite everyone hating him. I got clowned once on Twitter for saying that Naoya is a well-written character. Everyone was like, why do you gotta say the misogynist is well-written? It's like, oh, we can admit that he's wrong, but also admit that Gege popped off when he was writing this character. Loud Gaming, thank you for the 5. Miwa saved Maki from Sukuna's domain with her simple domain. I trust me, I know. Well aware of that in my mind when I'm giving her the trash forgettable tier. That's not enough for me to save her. Not enough for me to save her. He's a very well-written piece of shit, Naoya. That's really what it comes down to. Chicken Stacy, thank you for the 5. If it's revealed that Miwa jumped in and used her simple domain to save Maki from Sukuna's domain, what tier would she be? And then still trash forgettable. The only way Miwa is moving up a tier is if she gets a new weapon and pops off or does something crazy. But as it stands right now, Miwa's probably never moving out of this trash tier. There's probably absolutely no hope at all for that happening. Probably absolutely no hope at all for that happening. Up next, we've got Mekamaru, who is a very high A. Kokichi Muta Mekamaru is a very, very high A. I very much struggle to put him in S tier just based off of writing alone. Evening Festival is one of my favorite arcs of all time. Mahito versus Mekamaru is such a peak fiction fight. The entire writing of Mekamaru that goes into his heavenly restriction that forces him to have a body that he can't, leave that bathtub in, but he has such strong cursed energy that he would literally choose to not be a sorcerer just to have a normal body and just to be a normal person. And he develops this awful personality when all in all he could have had everything he ever wanted and more if he just stopped fighting against the life that he was born with and just accepted it. Which is easier said than done. He was born with an entirely crippled body with no hope of ever getting out of it, forced into a world of Jujutsu sorcery that he didn't even want to be a part of and would rather not be a part of it. Even with all the power that he gained, nothing would be able to give him the body that he wanted to have friends and live a normal teenage life, or just date the girl that he loved. But the truth is, Mekamaru, that was all cap. Mekamaru talked and walked himself into that abyss. Because after making the deal with the devil with Mahito and Kenjaku to try and save his body, thinking he could get one over on them in the last second and not pay the consequences for it. Yeah, it didn't go well for him at all. Didn't go well for him at all. But I will say, one of the more beautifully written deaths in the entire story. I think Evening Festival hits home very hard. Mekamaru is a traitor-ass bitch, but his story is a great one. I think Mekamaru's entire story is very fun. It's one of the best stories in early JJK for me. I think it kicks Shibuya Incident off strong as hell. Strong as hell. Yokai Gotha, thank you for being a member for a month. Appreciate that. Wasn't even in chat when I got the notification of a gifted membership. Thanks whoever gave it. Just pulled up to say that. Hey, we love that. We love that. Turning green when you're absent. That's a dream come true, I should say. I almost said nightmare. I don't know why. Weeb Grow, thank you for the 2. Kenny is like all for one for me. Need more time. I need to read My Hero Academia one day, because now that it's over, I think I could binge it all at once and really get a full opinion on it, because I haven't really seen much from it at all. But yeah, as moving on, as everyone has already guessed, yeah, Kamo Noritoshi, absolute, the epitome of a C tier character, without fail. Kamo Noritoshi on every front just fumbles the bag, can never strike a hard moment for his life. I think the coolest thing he's ever done is when he was fighting Curse Naoya and almost sacrificing his life to fight Curse Naoya, and he had that, may my comrades use my body as ashes to burn them asunder and burn their blazing courage, or whatever the fuck Kamo was saying. Other than that, Kamo Noritoshi has been a bum every other part of the series. He's getting fought equally on par with a first year fucking Jujutsu sorcerer as a third year semi grade 1 student. He is willing to commit bullshit murder against Yuji for no reason, and he immediately gets replaced as the poster of blood manipulation because Choso and the other death paintings do blood manipulation so much cooler than he does. And ultimately, my biggest theory is that Gege thought Noritoshi Kamo was such a lame character that he said, fuck it, I'm gonna rename my villain after you because I think that's a cool name and I want to have someone cool use it. Kamo gets kicked out of his own clan because of Kenjaku, gets beat up by Curse Naoya, and then what does he do? Sure. Oh, he trains Yuji on blood manipulation, all of that stuff. Bro leaves. Bro, Momo Nishimiya is sticking around for the fight against Sukuna. You're gonna dip out? You're gonna dip out? Oh, I gotta get my family out of Japan because God forbid you guys fail. First of all, asshole, why don't you come help us? Maybe we won't fail. Second of all, if we fail and the merger takes over all of Japan, you don't think the rest of the world is at stake and you're not just buying yourself some more time? Selfish. Selfish. C tier, bum. Get him out of my face. Tiberius, thank you for the 5. Griffith sacrificed to become a king. Kokichi sacrificed to become AirPods. Damn. Truer words have never been spoken. That's crazy. Up next, we've got Arata Nita, which, I mean, forgettable. I wouldn't call him trash. I would definitely call him forgettable. He's literally around for 2 seconds to show up, make Nobara's status of being alive or dead super questionable, and then dip. I think he's supposed to be in the group with us now and everything like that, but like, really? Who cares about that? Genuinely, who cares? Forgettable. Not even worth being an NPC character. Junpei Yoshino. Junpei's a B tier character for me. So many people I've noticed as time has moved on, I have noticed so many more people not liking Junpei. I'm genuinely surprised by that. Gege himself wasn't a fan of Junpei's entire arc and everything. He wishes that he could have done it better, which is crazy to me because Junpei's arc is what got me into the story. I did not really like Jujutsu Kaisen was cool. I enjoyed it, but seeing Mahito's dynamic with Junpei and then Junpei's dynamic with Yuji, and then seeing how much potential Junpei had to be a reoccurring character that Gege just gave up on and had Mahito kill Junpei, that was wild. My jaw hit the floor, and that's when I was like, yeah, Gege is doing something different with this anime. I'm gonna stick with this. So that's why I'm gonna give Junpei a B tier. I don't appreciate his story and overall contribution to everything as much as I do like Mechamaru's. I think Mechamaru's story is a little bit tighter, more fun, and just a more impactful. But Junpei's, you know, overall, you know, anti-bullying message is just great. And it's just a great introduction to Mahito as a whole. I love the way that everything kind of coincides together. I really, really enjoy it. I really enjoy Junpei as a character. That being said, Tiberius is gonna hate me for this, but Junpei's mom goes in NPC tier, unfortunately. I know Tiberius is going to riot, and I do apologize now. I have to be honest. I can't give her a higher ranking just because you're in the community, and I know it will upset you. Junpei's mom exists as a body to die and to spring Junpei into, you know, his villain arc. I definitely won't give Junpei's mom trash forgettable tier, because Junpei's mom is a W mom. But other than that, yeah, I gotta be honest with you. Gotta throw her an NPC tier. Her death was sad. Definitely not forgettable. Definitely not trash. But NPC. Miles, thank you for the 5. Appreciate that. Off topic, but I'm listening on my bike ride. Who you got for Sukuna versus Grimmjow pre-Thousand Year Blood War? Can Cleave get through Harrow? So the thing is Bleach characters like massively overscale Jujutsu Kaisen characters. Like most Bleach characters, especially like Grimmjow with Gran Rey Zero, that was potentially possible to destroy Las Noches. They weren't able to release that. It distorts space and everything. Most Bleach tier characters are like country level destruction attack potency. It's honestly insane. If you look at some of these characters' attack potency. So it's like, yeah, I think Grimmjow easily decimates Sukuna, unfortunately. Grimmjow, Sukuna probably, even with Fuga, wouldn't be able to kill Grimmjow, which is crazy to say. Could Gojo see through Aizen's illusions? Probably not, no. Kyoko Suigetsu would most likely be able to fool even the 6 eyes, unless you verse equalize and say that he'd be able to understand. But the thing is even if you could understand Ryatsu to a high level degree, you would still be hypnotized. Because the crazy thing about complete hypnosis with Aizen is that you can know you're being hypnotized, but you can't do anything about it because it confuses all 5 of your senses. Even if you know you're being manipulated by Kyoko Suigetsu, you can't do anything about it, even if you know. But anyway, thank you for the dono. I appreciate that. Moving on to Principal Yaga. I have to be honest with you. Principal Yaga could have been a much better character. If we had a little bit more time to get to know Principal Yaga. Like, Principal Yaga is only in a couple scenes. He's Gojo's mentor, which is great. He has a great relationship with Gojo. I do enjoy his design, and I think his puppet manipulation is awesome, especially when you consider the fact that not only did he create Panda, but he has the potential to be an unregistered special grade, because he's literally able to just create an army of self-sustaining cursed corpses with his whole 3 spirit theory, which I hope comes back to some shape or form in the story. It's way too important. But like, Yaga's death is a little underwhelming. He's just not in the story enough for me to give him a B tier like Weisuke, Ijichi, or Junpei. He kind of just sits with Kamo, where it's like, okay, you're here. You're not a bad character, I would say, but you kind of just don't do enough for me to really like you or give you any more crazy praise than I would any average other person, you know? His death was sad, but was it really crazy? No, I think it could have been done a little bit better. Nanami Kento. Nanami fucking Kento. Let's be real here. I gotta give the man an S tier. Nanami is like a perfect character, like one of the best characters that Gege has ever honestly written. Nanami, especially his adult personality and just and character type in general, is so relatable. The whole, you know, I'll never forget, like, when you go to the store and you find out your favorite type of bread is sold out, that's being an adult, or you wake up and there's more hairs on your pillow that are falling out, like, that's you know, that's being an adult. The 7-3 curse technique is such a really cool curse technique. Let's not deny it. It's one of the coolest curse techniques of the entire series, even though it's not one of the strongest per se, but just being able to hit canonical critical hits is crazy. And the way that he mentors Yuji and becomes just a huge guiding light for the main character. He fights through the Shibuya incident as one of the strongest, most durable characters that fights through as much chaos and nonsense as he can. And out of everything, his death scene is absolutely beautiful. He dies perfectly. He wasn't kept around longer than he needed to be. Nanami Kento is, for real, a great character. I love him. I love Nanami. I think when I thought about it, I was gonna probably drop him an A, but then I really sat down and I was like, you know what? Nanami's one of the best characters. He definitely beats Mechamaru for sure, in my honest opinion. So that's gonna be that. I'm gonna give Nanami as our #1 first S tier character, which I think for all intents and purposes is pretty fitting. I think that fits. I think that tracks. Up next is Utahime, who, I mean, Utahime isn't really trash. Utahime isn't really forgettable. But, I mean, besides hitting the Millie Rock for Gojo so he can hit 200% Hollow Purple, that's really, in my opinion, all Utahime's ever done. She's an L mentor. The Kyoto students are some of the most bum-ass trash students ever. That school is fucked if anyone was ever hit that school solo. But yeah, Utahime, just meh. China said Utahime best girl. I'm gonna have to decline on that one. NPC tier. Now, a real woman, we got Mei Mei over here. And I know I'm gonna catch flack for this, but I'm putting Mei Mei all the way up in A tier. Mei Mei is a guilty pleasure for me, personally. I love Mei Mei as a character. I think Mei Mei fits the role and just does everything that she's meant to do so well. The money grubbing, personal interest only, selfish mercenary who doesn't even reveal her real name and is basically manipulated her brother into feeling that he himself is a product that can be used at her disposal. I think she steals the show every time she's on stage. I mean, Mei Mei, just like I said, she does everything that she needs to do right. I think Gege really hit the nail on the head when he was trying to get a character that's very money obsessed. The way that she dips out of Tokyo, or I'm sorry, she dips out of Shibuya, no qualms or worries whatsoever about all the people she's leaving, and then sells all of her Japanese stock and trades and foreign exchanges her yen to a different currency. Surprised she came back. Yeah, I love Mei Mei. I think Mei Mei is a really fun character. Bird manipulation is such a lame curse technique that Mei Mei is able to make curl. That is, Mei Mei is able to make cool. Curl. What the fuck just came out of my mouth? But yeah, Mei Mei I think is a A tier character. Gege was cooking when he made Mei Mei for sure. Up next is Gaku Kanji, and fuck Gaku Kanji. Trash, forgettable, lame ass bitch. When this man pulled the guitar out, I was like, yo, my man is about to pop off. Show these motherfucker, show Coat Rack Man how the old generation does it. And you're telling me my man stalemated fucking Juzo Coat Rack Man with the axe with his guitar that shoots cursed energy blasts and waves? Stop. How did you become a higher up? How did you become a principal of the goddamn school, Gaku Kanji? And you're plotting against Yuji. You're holding cursed spirits hostage so you can use them as pets with a little trained whistle. What? You kill Yaga because you were told to? A man chooses, a slave obeys, okay? To quote the man Andrew Ryan, Gaku Kanji, you suck. Trash. Trash. Ayo! Loud Gaming with the 10 gifted. Let's go, baby. We're about to have a green storm. I'm telling you, I'm surprised there's people in here that aren't all green. That's because according to according to the 1 month membership, apparently a bunch of people that aren't even watching are getting gifted as opposed to people that are watching, which frankly I think doesn't make sense. I think you should have to be in the chat or at the very least watching the stream to get gifted. Or like if gifteds aren't going to give it to people that are in the stream currently, at least gift everyone who's in the stream currently and then start gifting people that aren't once everyone in the stream is gifted. That just makes the most sense to me. But you got people like Crimson Titan who are some of the top chatters in the community that are like 55th in line to get a gifted membership when they show up almost every stream. Don't make no sense. Didn't Yaga tell Gaku Kanji how his curse technique worked once he died? Yes. Yes, he did. Yaga gave Gaku Kanji the curse of knowing how you can create an immortal, self-sustaining curse spirit, which I, again, hope comes up to be relevant in some way, shape, or form, because goddamn. That's just too interesting of a plot point to never come back again. But yeah, Gaku Kanji, trash character. Without a doubt. Don't even have to think about it. Don't even have to think about it, dude. All right. Up next, Kusakabe. Now, I'll tell you right now, Kusakabe was going to be NPC tier for the longest time. So do not hate on me when the man only gets B. I am sorry to tell you, but Kusakabe is not my GOAT. Bro earned his volume cover. I disagree with that. That's why I'm glad he got replaced by the French Gojo alternative volume cover. In my mind, that is the official volume cover. Stop. You're getting me in my Kusakabe hatred. I don't actually hate Kusakabe. Let's be real. I think Kusakabe being the one sorcerer, the one grade 1 who is like, I'm going to avoid danger at all costs. This is how I survive. I'm a grade 1 sorcerer because I'm smart and I have utility and I stay out of trouble, not because I'm a badass warrior who faces every single threat that comes my way. I think that's an interesting personality trait. Doesn't hit home for me. Kusakabe, I won't lie to you, was never my GOAT up until he fought Sukuna in Shinjuku. Once Kusakabe fought Sukuna in Shinjuku and he popped off with his expanded simple domain, stepped up to Sukuna, started throwing hands with Sukuna. That was pretty cool in my eyes. That was a pretty cool moment. I gotta give it to him there. But that's All I can give it to him for. Sure, he tanked the maximum Uzumaki. You are correct in that one. He did tank Kenny's maximum Uzumaki, which is another reason he sits in B tier. Without fighting Sukuna and tanking the maximum Uzumaki, Kusakabe, in my opinion, is a character that doesn't necessarily hit for me. Frankly, he'd be C NPC tier, probably C tier, if he did not do the maximum Uzumaki and Sukuna feats. That's just being honest. Now, we have Akari Nita up next, who, I mean, NPC, I don't want to say anything too bad about him. They got their ass stabbed by Haruta in Shibuya incident, and they were able to recover, apparently. I think she quit after Shibuya or something like that. I don't necessarily hate her enough to put her in trash forgettable, but she don't really do shit. She don't really do shit. Takeda, another NPC that don't really do anything. Not forgettable, not trash. It's Todo's idol. I'm surprised Takeda even got put in the tier list. I don't know why they included Takeda of all people, but hey, it is what it is. Right next to Todo in the tier list, so it's a perfect segue into the man, the myth, the legend himself. I will say before we move on from Takeda, if you've been on stream for a long time, you've probably heard me say it before, but I'll say it again. Missed opportunity to not have Takeda as a reincarnated sorcerer in the culling game. I know Gege probably didn't want to go through every single colony and just have nothing but side fight after side fight after side fight, but I'm just saying, that's a culling game opportunity that I felt was missed. Takeda should have been super reincarnated sorcerer girl that had a crazy curse technique that Todo had to fight and overcome his love for his idol to kill her. That would have been peak character development and would have made me feel that Todo was more ready to join Yuji in the Shinjuku showdown. But hey, you know, beggars can't be choosers. You know, maybe that's DLC content for later. But anyway, yeah, I other than that, that brings me to the man, the myth, the legend himself. Everyone's mentioning it in chat. Everyone's saying it time and time again. And I gotta be honest with you. I gotta be wholeheartedly honest, because if I'm not honest, then I feel like I'm doing you a disservice. Todo. S tier. Todo is indeed S tier. I put Todo above Mekamaru. I put Todo above Meimei. Now let me tell you why. I don't put Todo in S tier because he's this awesome character with this amazing background story and this concrete writing and tight development path where he really just becomes this new character that we see every single time, and he's always growing. That's not what it is. That's not why. The reason why I put Todo in S tier is because genuinely every time Todo is on screen, he is the star of the moment. Every time he shows up, you know some shit's about to go down. You are going to be laughing. You are going to be crying. You are going to be on the edge of your seat. You are going to be locked the fuck in and engaged because Todo is on screen. From day one, from when he beats the shit out of Megami to when he fights Yuji and becomes Yuji's brother, which was just one of the craziest developments of all time, which was captured perfectly in the anime. Just super funny, makes you love Todo as a comic relief character, but he's also very strong. And you see that in the Shibuya incident when he helps Yuji fight Mahito, a very strong special grade curse spirit that could be one touch and done. And Todo fights pretty valiantly against Mahito, up to the point where he is willing to lose his curse technique potentially against him to bring Yuji to victory. And then after everything, Todo improves himself with the Vibra Slap instrument with a binding vow, and then jumps into a fight with the king of fucking curses to 2v1 with Yuji against him, and just becomes this sub-relativistic fucking monster. Yeah, Toto's a G. I love Toto. Every time I see Toto, I remember why I love him. And that's just really what it comes down to. We fucking love Toto here. Sukuna glazes Toto. Sukuna considers Toto the one character he wouldn't have wanted to help show up at all, which is crazy. Crazy. Now, up next, S tier is getting a little crowded. We have another S tier character without a doubt. And I mean, is it really any surprise? I just have to be completely and wholeheartedly honest with you. Mahito is one of my favorite characters of all time. Mahito is one of my favorite characters of all time. Mahito is such a great, well-written villain. It's honestly really hard to top him in his own series and in other series. Mahito is the perfect foil to Yuji. He's the perfect curse spirit and knows every possible way to make Yuji fucking hate him. He slowly breaks down Yuji's soul so often, and every time he can, to the point where it's so easy to hate Mahito that by the end of the fight, the final round 2 of Yuji versus Mahito, when Yuji is chasing Mahito through the snow and Mahito is sniveling and crying and farting like a little freaking loser, it's the most satisfying thing that could have ever been drawn that I think I've seen in a long time. And it's disgusting, frankly, that Gege wrote Kenjaku to steal Mahito that well-deserved kill from Yuji, because oh my god, I Am You is one of the greatest speeches of all time. Mahito's actions in the Shibuya incident, especially when he fights Yuji in round 2, if you've been around for a long time in the community, you know without fail that is one of my favorite fights, if not my favorite fight of all time in Jujutsu Kaisen. And the anime just put a cherry on top with it. Mahito's voice acting is one of the greatest voice acting of all time. They really capture that menacing, nightmare fuel just attitude. Mahito's monologue of "this is war, who gives a shit about truth or who's right, the winner decides who's right in the end." Yeah, Mahito is one of the greatest villains in a long time. One of the greatest villains of all time. And I'm very happy to say he's one of definitely my top 5 characters. But we'll see as we go through. He might not be. But yeah, I mean, Mahito is just a tier in his own. I might have to raise Mahito above, to be completely and totally honest. Might have to raise Mahito in like to S+ or something. Okay, I've yapped enough about Mahito. Up next is Jogo. And I love Jogo. Jogo is the perfect fucking jobber character, and he doesn't get enough credit because he fights the 2 strongest characters in the entire series. He fights Gojo Satoru, the honored one, survives his unlimited void. Of course, you know, people will say that Gojo wanted him to survive so we could get information out of him, which is true. But it's still a crazy feat. He also fights 15 Finger Sukuna. Jogo gets a bad rep, but he is, in my opinion, the strongest disaster curse. The man can summon a meteor. He only wanted humans to he only wanted curse spirits to replace humans, and was willing to die for what he believed. He mourned the loss of his friends, and he was an OG Joe Goat character. Obviously, you know that if you're a member of the channel, you know the membership is named after Jogo. We stan Jogo. If we're being honest, I would not put Jogo in S tier, but I think Jogo's an A tier curse spirit for sure. Jogo fits the bill perfectly. He's such a fun character. I think despite getting his ass beat, he's so fun to watch his ass get beat. I have to say that, yeah, Jogo is an awesome character. His fight against Gojo in the very beginning of the series really sets the tone for what we're in for and what a high-level sorcerer fight looks like. And just, yeah, I love Jogo, and I'll never stop loving Jogo, damn it. I'll never stop loving Jogo. He's what separated the special grades from the first grades. Hey, true, very true. Very true. Myers 420, super close to that Gojo badge. One more month, ayo. Up next, we've got Hanami. And you know what? Hanami is kind of lackluster. I won't lie to you. Hanami's kind of lackluster. I've got to put Hanami in C tier. Hanami is really cool. The cursed spirit of nature, because they represent nature, they're not even really a cursed spirit. They're more just a malevolent spirit, just a regular naturalized spirit that has sided with curses because they feel that humans are destroying the environment, which they are, and destroying nature, which they are. And Hanami feels like if humans are replaced by curses, the environment will flourish. So reasonable idea for a cursed spirit, makes sense. You got me there. And even Hanami, when saving Jogo, and Gojo's like, damn, Hanami was even scarier than Jogo. You know, that's a fun statement. Very fun statement, right? But then Hanami doesn't really do much. Hanami is a fun fight against Yuji and Todo. A fun obstacle for them to uncover. Gege even says it himself, that he wishes that Hanami just died with the Hollow Purple, because Hanami does nothing the rest of the series just to get taken out by Gojo later, because they fumble the ball and release their domain amplification too soon than when they were supposed to. So Hanami's cool. Hanami did indeed tank the Hollow Purple, yes. Gotta give her that. But other than that, Hanami is just kind of meh. And that goes into my next ranking for Dagon, who I think is a B tier disaster curse spirit. I think I would definitely put Dagon above Hanami as far as like how much I liked them as a villain and how much as a character I think they made more sense. Dagon as a curse spirit starts off as a curse womb with the beach domain expansion that everyone chills in. I think Dagon's fight is a lot cooler, and personally, than Hanami's fight against Yuji and Todo. Like, Hanami's fight against Yuji and Todo is great, but like I don't really find myself going back to read or watch that fight. Whereas the Dagon fight, that's always a fun read through. Seeing Nanami, Maki, Naobito struggle in Dagon's domain expansion. Death Swarm is such a really cool curse technique. The way that Dagon fights inside of it's cool. Megami shows up. Dagon is a really fun moment in the Shibuya incident. And I think they're a very iconic moment in the Shibuya incident. And of course, they get absolutely bodied by Toji, which is maybe a good thing for their character, not really a bad thing because it just levels them up even more. But yeah, no, I think Dagon's a B tier. I think it makes sense. Jogo A, Dagon B, Hanami C, Mahito's even an S, so they all go in a line. Isn't that cute? So Up next, we have the death paintings. We've got Kechizu, Eso, and Choso. And I can kind of explain them all in one because their characters kind of all tie in together, right? Of course, they are the 3 death paintings that are able to actually take form amongst the 10 death paintings that Kenjaku created. They were created by Kenjaku impregnating a woman with a cursed spirit and creating a hybrid cursed spirit human person in the Kamo clan. Of course, the fetuses are the cursed wombs. They can be given to people and as used as vessels to house the cursed spirit. They all have blood manipulation techniques, and as you go from Kechizu to Asu to Choso, those blood manipulation techniques get stronger. When it comes to the verdict of Kechizu and Esu, I think they both serve their purpose. C-tier characters at most. They're mostly gimmick characters. Kechizu is ugly and disgusting. Eso is a gimp. I don't know how else to describe that, but yeah, I mean, they're both just weird cursed spirits. Eso has maximum technique Wing King, which is crazy to have a maximum technique this early in the game. Their decay tactics are interesting. However, they immediately get brought into a game of chicken by Nobara, and Yuji and Nobara black flash their asses into next Sunday relatively easily before they're even considered grade 1 level sorcerers. So like, while I think they serve their purposes, especially when you consider the fact that they act as a revenge factor into keeping Choso not only as a villain in the Shibuya incident, but also just in general creating the Choso versus Yuji fight masterpiece that we get later. Yeah, they definitely serve the purpose. I'll keep them in C tier rather than NPC. Up next is Choso. Now, I'll probably get a lot of hate for this. But I think Choso goes in A. I don't think I can honestly put Choso in S tier. As much as we all love Choso, Choso's best boy, Choso's a fun character. We love our big brother. Older brother Choso is always there for Yuji. He cries for Yuji when Yuji is leaving him. Choso has awesome fights with Kenjaku. Let's to not forget, we just talked about the masterpiece of a fight that is Yuji versus Choso. Choso has become the new poster child of blood manipulation and dethroned Kamo Noritoshi because Choso can just use unlimited blood. Choso's top tier blood manipulator. Again, the brother dynamic is insane. I think Choso's great, especially unfortunately with the fact that we did just lose him to Sakuna's Fuga, which is sad. The fire arrow absolutely decimated Choso, but it's not sad because Choso gave up his life to protect and save Yuji, which is honestly the greatest ending to Choso we could have ever asked for, right? At this point, I know I've even seen people in chat say that Choso's not really done anything. I mean, Choso, I think, was did a great job fighting against Kenjaku in the Tomb of the Star when Choso actually made Kenjaku use his gravity technique. I thought that was pretty dope. Choso's power up he gets in the Tomb of the Star by using all of his brother's techniques. And again, like I said, his self-sacrifice at the end to save Yuji. I think Choso ends up being a great, well-written character that's really meant as a stepping stone for Yuji's development. But acts as a great character in his own right and as a great elder brother. I love Choso. I think he's an awesome character. I think his fight against Naoya is really cool too. But yeah, I like that they added an anime only scene of Choso and Kenjaku duking it out in the anime. Yeah, fun. Up next, we've got Orame. Up next, we have Orame. And I think Orame fits in B tier. Honestly, I would honestly put Orame like B plus, like just at the bottom of B, but just at the top of B, at the bottom of A, because And the reason for that is because Arame doesn't really have so much of a character, more as they're just known as the Sukuna Glazer #1. They're Sukuna's right-hand man. They are an awesome ice manipulator. They're, I don't care what anyone says, a demon, an absolute smoke demon when it comes to fighting. They took out half a dozen sorcerers in Shibuya with one attack, incapacitated fully awakened Maki Zenin with a maximum output ice attack, and has been stalemating Hikari for like 20 something chapters now, if not more. Yeah, if we saw more of Arame, if we got like a background, we got like a small flashback, or you know what, to be completely honest with you, if we just saw the Hikari versus Arame fight, like if I saw Arame fight Hikari and I got a full vibe for who Arame was and how they fought, I would probably put Arame in A. So unless Gege gives me my Arame development, Arame staying in B. Until Arame actually gets a character and is more than just a Sukuna chef, B tier. B tier. Up next, we've got Toge Inumaki, who, I'll be honest with you guys, I can't give Inumaki any higher than a C. I hesitate to put Inumaki in NPC tier. Cursed Speech is such a versatile and well thought out curse technique. The fact that Inumaki has to talk in ingredients, such an interesting character trait. Like, the way that Inumaki can actually affect top tier people with cursed speech is awesome. Imagine if Inumaki was developed at all. Imagine if the Inumaki clan was more than just a data book entry and we actually investigated the Inumaki clan to a small degree and learned more about them, learned about Inumaki's home life, learned about his clan life, learned about who he was. Even if we had like a small 3-4 mini arc about the Inumaki clan and helping Inumaki with like a family problem, just an underutilized character. It's just ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. The only reason Inumaki's at C is because Inumaki has a cool curse technique. Curse speech is cool. If curse speech wasn't cool, Inumaki would be trash. Reminds me of Coco from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Just one of those fucking characters. It's like, what the fuck are you saying, dog? You know what I mean? Coco. Anyway. Up next. Yeah, didn't he get cut by Sukuna during the Maharaga fight? Yeah, bro's one arm down. Sumiki. I think we all know where to put Sumiki. Trash, forgettable. Sumiki, what was Gege trying to cook with you? You're Megami's sister. That's literally it. You're a plot device. That's it. I don't have an issue with that. I didn't really need to know much about Sumiki. I didn't really need to see more than a chapter or two of Sumiki interacting with Megami. But the truth is, we got even less than that, which is what makes it so much worse. Like, Sumiki could have been NPC if Gege just gave us like one or two more pages of Sumiki being Sumiki. Other than that, just meh. Just meh. I literally forgot Sumiki's existence. Yeah. Sumiki's gone and forgotten, never to be seen again, especially now that Yorozu's dead. It's over. Up next, we've got Ozawa, which I mean, like, forgettable 110%. It's like that is a chapter that is just such a filler chapter. We've got people in chat saying who. So Ozawa is the character that shows up in chapter 64, or the episode of It's Like That. It is the tall girl that likes Yuji from Yuji's old middle school, that after Yuji transfers, Nobara meets and wants to set Yuji up with. Of course, they don't ever get together. The Shibuya incident happens, and Yuji's never going to be the same again because he's now basically a war veteran with PTSD. And I don't think Ozawa is going to be into the traumatized sorcerer personality. So yeah, we're probably never going to see Ozawa again. Maybe she got dusted by Sukuna's malevolent shrine. If that's the case, boom. Was literally forced into the story by Gege's author because the editor by Gege's author by Gege's editor because the editor wanted a story where a girl liked Itadori Yuji. That's it. Gege does not like to flesh out a lot of characters. Yeah, you're seeing so many, the B's, C's, and all of these tiers start getting filled up. Up next, we've got Juzo Coat Rack Man. I mean, what more can be said? Trash, forgettable. Honestly, he's not forgettable because Coat Rack is a funny meme, but he is most certainly trash. Maybe not forgettable, but most certainly garbage water. That's for certain. Up next, we have Miguel. And now, the worst part about Miguel is Miguel had potential. Miguel could have been a B tier character. Miguel could have been a B tier character. And then he pulled the BS in Shinjuku. He dipped out. Bruh. I wanted to give Miguel wanted to give him a B. But the fact that Miguel showed up, did his little one dance on Sukuna's dismantles, and then dipped out once LaRue got bodied? Come on, bro. What did you even get brought in for? Miguel showed up to save fucking Wee Wee. That was it. He's literally Utahime Part 2. Exactly. Utahime Part 2. Miguel gets C tier because he checks Gojo's racism. He fights with Gojo in Volume 0 for a pretty decent amount of time. But what could have been a B tier character ended up being a Gege fumble. If Miguel comes back later to help, I'll give him back the B tier. But as of right now, C tier. Miguel did what Jogo couldn't. Fair. He's like Tien from the Boo Saga. Huh. Y'all some haters because your favorites are dead. Chill. What's Kashimo got to do with this? Miguel's personality carries his character. Yeah, Miguel does have a really cool personality. I will give Miguel that. Miguel has a cool personality. He's a real one. Super true. I still don't understand why he thought Geto was based in wanting to kill all non-sorcerers. Still doesn't make much sense to me, but either way. Up next, we've got Haruta, who, I mean, yeah, absolute trash, forgettable. We already know this. You can go right next to Coat Rack Man. It's just blah. Just blah. I might give him NPC. Honestly, yeah, we'll give Haruta NPC. Even though he's an annoyance, even though he's so annoying, his curse technique is cool, the miracle technique is cool, and he does have one really cool line that hits for me, which is him being like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Why am I doing this? Why am I being evil? Well, what am I supposed to do? The best way I can describe myself is a person who was born, is a person who likes soccer, who was born in a world without soccer. which is a pretty cool statement. Like, yeah, I'm a person who likes soccer but was born in a world without soccer. Like, well, sheesh, I feel that, bro. I don't know why, but I feel that. That makes sense. Couldn't even beat Nobara. Now that's false information. That's false information in my opinion. I think Haruto was doing just fine beating the shit out of Nobara, and Haruto probably would have won unless Nanami showed up. Nobara was concussed and hurting. Nobara was not doing so hot. Haruta's the sole reason why Nobara fumbled in the Shibuya incident, honestly. Nanami pieced him up real quick though. Nanami embarrassed his ass, and then he fucking pulled some sly shit, stabbing Megami in the back, but that's okay because bro got turned into Maharaga dust and then got Sukuna cleaved. Now, these characters deserve to be trash forgettable. Okay, Mimiko and Nanako, I'm glad that whoever made this tier list put them in the same box, because let's be real, that's all they ever were. They're a duo character, trash forgettable characters. Just absolutely not. Sure, you can feel bad for them, you know, they were characters that were left out in the country and were, you know, imprisoned and treated like shit by, you know, rural area people because they had sorcerer powers, and those rural people were scared of this sorcerer powers. Sad story. Ultimately amounts to absolutely nothing though. It amounts to what? A cell phone curse technique and one that hangs you? Lame. Just lame. Their Sukuna feed, they get diced and sliced. They make the mistake of thinking they can order around Sukuna, which is crazy. They're Geto's daughters, adopted daughters. I mean, that's all there is to say. Garbo. Story would have been the exact same without him. Up next, we have LaRue, who I'll put, no, not Gaku Kanji. No, you stay your ass down in trash. Up next is LaRue. I'm going to put LaRue right next to Miguel. Now, C tier is not a bad thing for LaRue. C tier is not a bad thing for LaRue at all. Why is C tier not a bad thing for LaRue at all? Because to be honest with you, LaRue would be NPC trash tier if it wasn't for the fact that LaRue pulled some crazy shit and stunlocked Sukuna long enough for Yuji to land one of the deadliest black flashes I've seen in most of my entire adult life. That was one of the most gnarly manga pages of all time, seeing Yuji hit that black flash with Sukuna up against the wall. That was some crazy shit. So yeah, it's just insane. LaRue over Miguel? No, I'd put Miguel over LaRue. LaRue got more balls than Miguel does. Fair enough. Very fair. Very fair. We got the fake special grade coming up next. Yeah. Up next is going to be Geto Suguru, who, I mean, in my honest opinion, Geto is an A tier character. I think Geto does everything he needs to do right. I know I've said that for a lot of characters, but it's true. Gege kind of writes a lot of these characters to fill certain roles, right? To play certain parts in his story. Once their roles are done, that's it. But their impact can still be felt. Geto Suguru's impact on the Jujutsu Kaisen story can still be felt to this day. That's why people still talk about him. More than just, of course, that Kenjaku's using Geto's body. But when Geto was alive, Geto was a very awesome villain. The idea of Geto in Volume 0 really holds up pretty decently and suffers, honestly, from the fact that Volume 0 is only a one-shot and is separate from the main Jujutsu Kaisen story. Because Geto in Volume 0, his grandiose, you know, story ideas that Gege wanted to do for years, he wrote in an interview. Geto's whole racism arc, his whole non-sorcerers, where he wants to uplift sorcerers because that's the one way that they can stop cursed spirits from existing. That's his answer to everything. Like, Geto is a very believable, a very real character. He makes sense. His downfall is sad in Hidden Inventory when you get all of the additional context to why he became the way that he did. He's a very strong villain. He's got balls. He's willing to kill his own parents and torch an entire village to the ground as soon as he makes his decision. He stands up to Gojo ideologically. I could not fucking say that word for the life of me. But yeah, Geto, say what you will about curse spirit manipulation, say what you will about him being a fake special grade, all that nonsense, but I think Geto is a great villain, definitely A-tier character, a perfect obstacle to prove that Yuta is the next coming of the Queen of Curses, the next special grade sorcerer from the new generation. Easy, Mr. President, leave me alone. That's crazy. Don't compare me to Joey B. But yeah, Geto, A-tier character for sure. Geto is definitely A-tier character. Now, Rika. Oram said it already. Rika is kind of an NPC. Rika herself, I mean, honestly, Rika, mainstream Rika NPC, databook Rika is like fucking scary ass fucking B tier character. Like, I just see a lot of people saying that, you know, Rika's a B, Rika's a C, blah, 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 blah. Like, Rika is not even really a character. Rika, before we even meet her, dies an accidental death in a car crash, and from that point on she's an accessory to Yuta's character, right? Like, Rika is not even really a character. She's a symbolism of Yuta's guilt, a symbolism of Yuta's constant self-doubt and Yuta's inability to do things for himself taken form. It's his twisted form of love, which honestly, all in all, Rika's a piece of shit because Rika was just manipulating Yuta from behind the scenes. But despite being the queen of all curses, Yuta pretty much carries all of Rika's aura in himself. You know? Rika's a cool design. The curse spirit design is insane, but no more than really a very low IQ, mindless berserker JoJo stand that has a personality and mind of its own, whether that's for the user's detriment or not. But yeah, I think Rika fits the bill of NPC perfectly. Not even really a character, but obviously still, you know, good to be there. Now, up next, we have Yuta Okotsu. Yuta Okotsu is a lot of people's favorite characters. Yuta Okotsu is one of the strongest characters in the series, if not probably top 5, especially when you consider his domain expansion. Yuta was the start of everything. Yuta was the start of Volume 0, the one shot that even started Jujutsu Kaisen as a whole. His story in Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0 is great. You know, a very, you know, introverted, bullied child curses his childhood friend. She becomes an evil curse that he has to exorcise and or either learn to live with. The whole story of Volume 0 is great. Yuta finding friends and growing because of his friends and becoming who he is because of the people around him, which is why I think it's so beautiful that Yuta Okotsu's curse technique is copy. Because have you ever really heard the saying of I don't have my own personality. I'm an amalgamation of all of the people around me, or I'm a mix up of all of my friends' personalities together. I feel like that's the perfect representation of Yuta, right? Like Yuta has this innate blessing, this innate power. He was born special, all of this, but he doesn't really have much to himself. Like I said, he's very introverted. He was bullied when he was a child. Rika was really the only friend he ever had. Even his family doesn't like him because Rika is an evil curse spirit now and they don't treat him well. So Yuta doesn't really have anybody. He doesn't really have, he's emotionally stunted basically because he has no way to let out or socially grow. And then when he meets friends in Jujutsu High, they show him who to be. They show him who he is as a person. And when he's fighting Geto for the very last time in Volume 0, it comes down to fruition where he's like, my friends are the only thing that matter to me, and I don't care what they feel, what Jujutsu High feels. I don't care if you're even right and you're the one in and you're the good guy right now. I'm going to protect my friends and kill you because my friends mean the most to me, which is beautiful. And again, it makes sense why Yuta has a copy ability, because he takes pieces of his friends, he takes pieces of the people around him and uses that to mold himself and become the person that he is. So I think Yuta is a beautiful character. Obviously, most of his character arc is kind of closed after Volume 0, whereas he just acts as a very strong special grade asset to the protagonist from that point on. I think all in all, Yuta goes right next to Geto, if not higher than Geto, as an A tier character. I definitely agree with a lot of you guys in chat where I wouldn't put Yuta in S tier. I do think Yuta overall is a complete character. I love Yuta. We're a Yuta friendly show here. I put Yuta way over Hikari in my honest opinion. But I don't think Yuta sits in S tier. And the reason for that, my honest opinion, is because again, I feel like Todo, Nanami, and Mahito just hit for me harder. I think their writing and the vibes and themes that they represent are great. Whereas Yuta, I think, is more of a powerhouse. He closed his story in Volume 0, and since then has just been a nice side character to have. But yeah, I don't think he is S tier by any means. Top of A, I'll put him over Mei. But honestly, Mechamaru hits harder for me. Mechamaru hits harder for me story-wise, I think, character-wise. Hold on. Mechamaru, I think, is top of A for me. Jogo goes below Mei. Joso goes above Mei. Yep, that fits for me. That fits for me. Mechamaru top of A for sure. Mechamaru, I think, hits harder for me than Yuta. All right, so much just happened. Yeah, you see what happens? You see what happens? So, from here on, we've got Shoko. Shoko, NPC. I mean, what more can we say? Shoko, while she's a great character, she's definitely an asset. She's really not more help than Utahime. I mean, Shoko's our great reverse curse technique doctor. She heals everybody. She just performed the crazy brain surgery required, which, you know, definitely needed a lot of fortitude. She takes no shit from no one, I should say. Geto showed up when he was an outlaw, and Shoko immediately called Gojo to pull up on him. Shoko is a cool character, but nah, I don't think she's a C, B, A tier character. She's right next to Utahime for me, honestly. Ain't no way she lower than Miguel. 100% she's lower than Miguel. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. My vet is calling me. Hold on. You got to get my boys' nails trimmed. They're getting long AF. Let me tell you, man. My hammies are ridiculous. So I've got 2 hamsters, Leviathan and Gus Gus. I'm gonna see if I can get a picture on screen here. They are my favorite little boys. I love them so much. We have a wheel that while they run on it, they're supposed to trim their own nails by running on it. And my one hamster is a fucking meathead, and he runs on it all the fucking time. But my other hamster doesn't run on it ever, and he has talons. When I tell you talons, I'm telling you he's got talons. So we tried to clean them, didn't work too well. So we have to get them cleaned. Get them trimmed. So that's what I was just calling to make the appointment for. Love them to death, but god damn it, that fucking fat ass motherfucker needs to start exercising. No matter how much we encourage him to run on his wheel, he doesn't run on his wheel. Which, hey, I get it. It's fine. If you don't want to work out, I get it. But when you're costing us money because we got to get your nails trimmed because you won't do it naturally, you're killing me, bud. I can't find pictures of my hammies. But if I had, just know that they're absolutely the most adorable things that you've ever seen in your entire lives. Which one doesn't run? Leviathan doesn't run. Gus Gus is the meathead. Gus Gus just fucking sprints all day and night. He'll run from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. straight. I just have the video. I just have videos. I don't have pictures, I think, in the Discord. That's what I was looking for. But they're adorable. Check them out. Ooh, hold on. Check them out. Look at them cleaning each other. They're so cute. Look at him flicking his little leg up. Super cute. That's Gus Gus. That's Leviathan. I can tell. You want to know how I can tell, even though they both look the same? Because Gus Gus is the only motherfucker that is this antsy that's gonna groom someone else. Leviathan's just chilling. Look at him, just chilling. Hardcore, not doing anything. And Gus Gus just won't leave him the fuck alone. Always moving around him, doing something crazy. Always doing something crazy. But look at him, look at him. Look at him chilling. Hardcore. In the cut. Yeah, those are my hammies. Oh, wow, Leviathan is the lazy one? Yep. Hey, Grin and Bear, what's going on? How old are they? They are almost a year old, I think. They are... I think they're like 8 or 9 months. Somewhere around there, yeah. They're pretty, they're getting there. They're almost a year old. Which is unheard of, by the way, because usually it's impossible to keep two boy hamsters together like that. At least Russian dwarf boys. They get very aggressive and very territorial. But these guys fucking love each other. They are the greatest. They can't be separated because they love each other so much. Which, like I said, it's very hard. When we brought them to the vet the first time, the vet was like, you guys are able to keep them in the same enclosure and they don't fight. We're like, yeah. It works because Leviathan's chill and lazy as shit. And Gus is the speed demon. So like Gus just runs around, and as you saw in the one video, Gus just like grooms him and bothers him, and Leviathan is just like, whatever, bro. Do what you gotta do and then leave me alone so I can sleep. So yeah. All right. Sorry, I got off topic. Who were we just talking about? Shoko? Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about Shoko. That was it. I kind of said everything I needed to say. That was it. I kind of said everything I needed to say. Brothers like Toto and Yuji? Yes. All right, Kuchisaki Onna is next, which I guess just NPC. I honestly, maybe even trash, forgettable, because they couldn't even do their one job correctly. Who's better, Leorio or Shoko? Shoko. But yeah, Kuchisaki Onna, just trash, forgettable, couldn't curse spirit summoned by Geto that couldn't even do whatever. Up next, we've got Hebra, who doesn't get trash and forgettable. He's surprisingly, he does get NPC, best boy from hidden inventory. Just wanted, he was too good for the world, too pure, too innocent, and Gege had to remove him. Had to absolutely just remove him, and by remove him I mean cut him in half, as Gege likes to do with all of his characters that have it too good for too long. Hebra does still show up from time to time. He shows up during Nanami's death to guide Nanami toward the future. He shows up during Gojo's death. It's awesome. It really is. That a character that really gets such little screen time has such a lasting impact, and that's really what Gege does well, is creating characters that even though they've only been around for such a short time, they last what feels like forever. So gotta give Hebra at least NPC. He's definitely not forgettable, that's for sure. Definitely not forgettable, and that's really all I can say about him. Up next is Rico, who, I won't lie to you, gotta give Rico a B tier. I think Rico is a fun character. A fun character, that's fucked up to say. Rico's not really a fun character, but she's a well thought out character. Her impact, her themes, they mean a lot. The idea of a character who was born to be a vessel for Tengen and has lived their entire life knowing they were going to be a vessel to Tengen really doesn't give you much room to exist happily, right? Knowing that your days are numbered. I mean, all of us know that our days are numbered, but we have this, I don't want to say the satisfaction, we have the luxury of not knowing when that final day is going to be. If you knew when your final day was going to be, you'd start acting different. For sure, you would. 110%. You would either start doing things faster or maybe not doing any things at all because you feel like nothing matters. But the idea of knowing the day that you're going to cease existing is a sad and scary way to go around living. And it's fucked up what Tengen does to the Star Plasma vessels, without a doubt. It's awesome that Geto and Gojo were willing to go against that and go against all of the Jujutsu world to save Riko. And the impact of Riko's death is not only one of the heaviest burdens to hold. I knew that death was coming up, and that still rocked my core and scared the shit out of me when Toji pulled that trigger and shot Riko right through the head. That was the beginning of the downward spiral of Jujutsu Kaisen. The death that, for all intents and purposes, spring-loaded the entire plot of Jujutsu Kaisen and made everything that is happening today possible. So I think Riko serves as a B-tier character just for the themes that she represents, the story that she told. She wasn't necessarily the greatest character, but I think her role and the plot that she laid out was important for all things to come. And is really, Hidden Inventory would not be the same without Riko. That's a fact. Please justify your Leorio hate. This revelation has crushed me. I talked a lot about my Leorio hate in the Hunter x Hunter Ranked and Explained I did last week, but I just don't like Leorio. There's just nothing likable about Leorio to me. I don't understand. Bro fucks up in the Trick Tower, so he chooses to rather touch boobs than help his friends pass the Hunter exam. He does next to nothing in York New besides take a phone call. He exits the story for 200 something chapters, shows up and just starts yelling about Gon. I don't understand why everyone likes Leorio. I don't understand why people like him. I don't know if people like him ironically. And they just think it's funny to like Leorio because there's nothing likable about Leorio. Like, I don't get, you don't get it. I don't get it. I actually don't get it. Bro is a homie at heart. That's a bare minimum. I will not give Leorio respect for doing the bare minimum and being a good friend. What do you mean? But yeah, that's my Leorio tangent. I'm not going into any more detail. And yeah, check out the Hunter x Hunter Ranked and Explained tier list I did last week. No Optus be like this sometimes. First Renji and now Leorio. Renji's the same thing. I don't understand why people like Renji. Renji has a cool character design, and that's it. Renji accomplishes nothing in the entire series of Bleach. Accomplishes nothing. The only character he kills that everyone gives him clout for with his So-Oh Zabimaru Bankai against Master Masculine. Master Masculine killed himself. Master Masculine killed James, the pillar of his immortality. And then when Renji killed Master Masculine, there was no James to revive Master Masculine. So who won that fight, really? Did Renji really win the fight, or did Mask lose the fight for himself? Sounds to me like Mask lost the fight for himself. That's all I have to say. Taking my sip of water, we're continuing on. We move on. Up next is Toji And y'all, Toji, this is the character that y'all are thinking of when you talk about aura, when you talk about him energy, when you talk about being that guy. Toji is that guy. Listen, Toji, from the moment he appears on screen, strikes a level of intensity that some might consider impossible to replicate. He is the purest definition of a smoke demon. He is good at one thing only, and that's killing fucking sorcerers. So what does Toji do for a living? He kills fucking sorcerers. The man was the first person to get one over and outsmart the Honored One, a character that he himself admits no one should be able to beat. And even at the end of everything, before Toji sells off his son, he goes, you know what? Let me change my mind. Gojo, you take care of my son. W, Dad. And then when he comes back as a zombie, instead of killing his son, he commits harikiri. He commits seppuku. You cannot tell me. You can't tell me Toji isn't an S tier character on aura alone. I don't really need to explain it. Toji strikes the S tier the same way that Todo does for me, in that not only is this character's design great, not only is this character's personality fitting and fun, and not only is this character fun to watch, it's just when they're on screen and I'm having fun watching them, they look so goddamn cool doing it. I mean, shit, Toji is just awesome. Waiting for Toji to be animated was something that manga only readers cannot describe to you, because finally seeing that madman on screen and some of the crazy things that he does, yeah, Toji is dope. China Doll with a $25 dono. Toji aura on 1,000. He is him. Yeah, he's got that shit cranked up. Yeah, Gege was just cooking when Toji was created, and yeah, it's almost impossible to top Toji. Toji's up there. Toji is high up there, only surpassed by Nanami and Mahito because I prefer their written arcs. And they also have aura themselves. Mahito is like aura plus top tier lore. His fight with Gojo is pure cinema. I love that freaked out face Megumi gives him in the anime. Like, what did I just witness? So true, Grin and Barrett. All right. Next up, we've got Ino, Shiesty Sorcerer himself, who, as I mentioned before, was very much highly leveled up after his MVP results after the Shinjuku Showdown. MVP results. This bro went up against Sukuna multiple times, casted his strongest spell against Sukuna, and in the last second threw his fucking curse tool from Nanami at Sukuna, donked him on the head, and distracted him long enough for Yuji to get another black flash on bro. Besides that, Ino is a semi-grade 1 sorcerer who refuses to become a grade 1 sorcerer without Nanami's approval. Of course, Nanami is dead now, so that's a little tough, but other than that, he's like your perfect little brother-esque character. Wants to be cool and tries so hard to be cool, but he just can't. I will be honest, I was never a big fan of Ino. I felt very similar to Ino, like I felt about Kusakabe His personality just doesn't really hit for me. It doesn't really, I don't really relate to it. It's kind of like whatever for me. But his MVP actions in Shinjuku give me the right to put bro in B tier at the very least. I'll be honest. If it wasn't for his MVP status in the most recent manga arc, bro would be NPC. I'm even looking at it now. I might even put Ino down to W, or W to C. Not to W for Wumbo. Not W for win either, for sure. I can promise you that. Like, does he deserve to be on the same tier as fucking... He got punched in his mitt by Toji. Yeah, C tier. I talked myself out of giving Ino B tier. C tier is the righteous. He gets the same praise as LaRue does. LaRue would be fucking S. LaRue S, not S. No. I keep mixing up my letters. No, oh my goodness. This is going to be bad for people that are listening and not watching. Yeah, but yeah. C tier. He gets the same treatment as LaRue does, where you distracted Sukuna long enough for Yuji to get a black flash. That puts you in C tier for me, because other than that, you'd be an NPC, you know. I can't believe I even thought you'd be on B tier. I'm looking at the people in B tier, and I'm like, absolutely not. And you know what? I'll be honest here. Weisuke, you gotta come down to C tier. I'm sorry. You can't be in B tier with fucking actual characters. Weisuke, I love you. You're W grandpa, but I can't give you anything more than C tier. I just can't. You don't deserve to be on the same tier as fucking Orame. Who's better than Junpei? Ino? Nah. False. Ino is not better than Junpei. Junpei has a real character and arc. Ino is just there. Let's be real. He's lucky he got C tier. Let's be real. We coming in hot for the NPC tier. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, blah 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 blah. Like, what do you mean NPC? Wee's got the soul swap. He's the only reason that they're cooking in Shinjuku Showdown. I don't care. I really do not. And Wee is a Mei accessory at this point. We like, I've said it time and time again. Maybe if Jujutsu Kaisen ever gets a fighting game, a real fighting game, because I don't consider Cursed Clash a Jujutsu Kaisen fighting game. If Jujutsu Kaisen ever gets a real fighting game, Mei and Wee are the same character. Like how Mimiko and Nanako were put here as the same icon, I would put Wee as the same icon as Mei in like a fighting game. Because Wee isn't really his own character at all. He's literally just Mei's accessory. It was super cool to see that he came in clutch for everybody, but again, Shoko and Utahime also came in clutch for people in the final arc, and that didn't get them any higher than NPC either. So we gotta be consistent, and I think this is being consistent. That's why I moved Weisuke down. Definitely consistency. He's clutch but has no character. He's Mei's Rika. There we go. That's like better comparison has never been found, to be completely honest with you. A better comparison has never been found. Up next is Naobito. And I'll put Naobito right next to Arame. Naobito is cool. Projection sorcery is a great and iconic curse technique that when it first came out was literally making steam come out of people's brains. It was so complicated at first. But yeah, projection sorcery was a very cool introduction with Naobito. Naobito, despite being, you know, a prick, does have a real personality. It's so funny seeing him yell at Dagon about how Yuji reclaims the story and reclaims the perspective of the fight by fighting a semi-grade 1 curse spirit like Grasshopper all by himself, getting praised by Mei for beating a curse spirit she wasn't sure if he really could. And honestly, the smart thing is just a funny gimmick. Grasshopper has curse has the dick thrust, the secret dick thrust attack. Just, yeah, iconic NPC character, not trash, not forgettable. When did we get a dimple emote? We've always had a dimple emote. Let's go. Dimple is the GOAT. So that's another tier list. All right, up next is fucking Ogami, who the only reason she doesn't get trash forgettable is because she brought back Toji. The only reason they're not getting trash and forgettable is because they brought back Toji, and that's what makes them special. But other than that, Ogami has done nothing but kidnap a bunch of kids and tell them she was their grandma, even though she's not. Human trafficker, necromancer, weirdo, NPC. And you know what? Your boyfriend, your buddy over here, Awasaka, can go right in the NPC or tier list with you. Because inverse curse technique, sure. Interesting curse technique. Character, no one cares about you, Awasaka. You're salty because Gojo fucked up your criminal career path of what, being a serial killer? Really, bro? Get a new, maybe people would like you and you wouldn't be such an antisocial POS if you got a different sense of style, bro. Shave that mustache. The mustache and beard combo, the samurai shogun aku look, not fitting, bro. Do something different. Do something different. That's NPC for sure. NPC for sure. Luigi bald looking ass. Exactly. Luigi's bald looking ass. Smallpox deity, however, on the other hand, I think definitely deserves at least C tier. The smallpox deity had a really cool domain expansion, really cool design. You know what? We'll give him NPC. We'll put him right next to. We'll put him top of NPC because they didn't really have a character per se. You know, they didn't really have a character at all. They were kind of a mindless, speechless roadblock for Mei. Cool domain expansion, cool everything, but are they really a character that should be ranked? No. Hanami definitely is a higher tier. Hanami is a higher tier for sure. Now, the smoke demon himself, Mahoraga. Mahoraga, while not really having much of a character, is an A tier. And let me explain to you why. Mahoraga is Smoke Demon incarnate. Mahoraga's personality is being a goddamn menace. That's literally his entire character. When Mahoraga hits that smirk, you know some shit's about to go down. Big Raga the Opstopper, nothing but memes galore for Mahoraga. Mahoraga is a very iconic character. Megami summoning Mahoraga is an iconic moment. Like, Mahoraga is much like Toji, Aura incarnate. Whenever they show up, you know shit's happening. They have one of the coolest fights against Gojo. They have one of the coolest fights against Sukuna. They make the Shibuya incident iconic. Yeah, Mahoraga is such a cool representation of just fighting potential and just him energy, but at the same time Maharaga isn't really a character, so I can't really give them. I consider Maharaga similar to like Jogo, where like you get this way because your design is cool, your existence in the story is really cool, but you don't really have too much of a character, so I can't give you much more than that. Honestly, Maharaga's lucky that he's an A, but I definitely would rank Maharaga higher than Dagon. I'd rank Maharaga higher than Arame, so that's what puts them in A, not B for me. That's what puts them in A, not B for me. Now, up next, we've got Nobara Kugasaki. And to be honest with you, I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't know if people will get mad at me for this, but Nobara, I think, sits in B tier. I can't really give Nobara any higher place than that. Nobara's got a great personality. Her moment in the exchange event arc where she rejects needing to be beautiful, needing to be woman-like, and just wants to be herself and be strong is iconic. She does, however, immediately get that turnaround and fumble the bag against Haruta Shigemo, of all fucking people. Haruta is who you lose to. You have a chance to show up your game and show why you're a semi-grade 1 sorcerer and show why they brought you to Shibuya Incident, and Haruta throws you off your game, girl? Come on. And then Akari, Akari tries to tell you not to go back into the Shibuya Incident because you're gonna get cooked. And then what happens? You go back into the Shibuya Incident and you get cooked by Mahito. Just like hairpin and the straw doll technique is a cool ability. Nobara as a character fits the trio of Yuji, Megami, Nobara very well. I think Nobara is a great character, but I can't rank her an A. I can't rank her an S. Her flashback and story as a whole does not hit for me. It feels like there's parts missing from it. And just, it's just Nobara, while cool, she's not a fully fleshed out character, unfortunately. And again, fumbling to Haruta puts her even lower in my eyes. So yeah, she can't even be considered an A tier character despite being one of the main trio. Wish Gege did more with her. Yeah, just Nobara could have been done in a lot of different ways. I know I even have said it multiple times where it's like, what would have Nobara done in this part of the story? Nothing. She's kind of irrelevant, which is true, but also at the same time, Nobara's story could have been done differently. So yeah, how are bums like Inumaki alive while Nobara is 6 feet under? Yeah, we kept Inumaki alive for why? You know, just that's still a question to this day we really don't have the answer to. Up next, we've got Yuki Tsukumo, and despite what your feelings may be about her, I think as a character, she's pretty top tier. Whether you feel that Yuki was wasted or you feel like Yuki could have done more, I mean, I definitely feel like she could have done more. Whether I feel like that's more fitting for like a spin-off or a side story than the actual main story itself, you know, that's neither here nor there. But the reason why I put Yuki Tsukumo at A tier is because Yuki Tsukumo, while not having much screen time, everything that she represents, her philosophies, her themes, what she stands for, hits so hard for me. Her entire philosophy of basically being willing to say the quiet part out loud in front of Geto, but also acknowledging that while the quiet part is a response, it's not the most ideal one. It's not the most moral high ground take. Geto goes, fuck it, let's just kill everyone, while Yuki goes, no, killing everyone is the easy way. Taking away everyone's cursed energy is a lot harder, but that creates a lot more happiness, which I think is very respectable. I like Yuki for that. I like that Yuki's able to ask the hard questions, but when given an answer to that question that she doesn't like, instead of just accepting it and seeing how way things are, she tries to change it. I feel like Yuki outright embodies Aizen Sosuke energy when it comes to that, especially like when Aizen Sosuke's final monologue against Urahara, where he's like, a genius, as a genius, you're able to understand everything that the Soul King is, and why don't you choose to change it? A hero chooses to change the world as he sees fit, not fights to keep it for the way that it is. While Geto chooses to take the easy route and says sorcerers are just better, rehabilitating non-sorcerers and making them, you know, better people is not an easy route, so fuck it. Whereas Yuki chooses to take the hard route. She's very morally correct. I think her fight against Kenjaku is great, especially her meeting with Kenjaku in the Shibuya incident, when they're literally poised to completely counter each other's philosophies entirely. I love it. Yeah, Yuki's the antithesis to what Kenjaku represents, which is really cool. Exactly. While I think Yuki was always meant to perish under Kenjaku's reign, perish saving Tengen, whether that was what Gege always had intended for Yuki, Gege really did cook a top level character here. Great design, great personality, left people wanting more, to be completely honest with you. That's Yuki's only fatal flaw, was she left people wanting more. And again, hopefully we get to have a cool spin-off or short story or whatever of Yuki having a duo mission with Todo, or Yuki in her youth, or whatever. But Yuki's only flaw is being too good of a character, and for me, that lets me put her in A. First of all, Myers, thank you for the 5 gifted members. Thank you for the support. Chinadol, thank you for the 5 gifted members, and thank you for the support. I appreciate that, guys. Weeb Guru, thank you for the $2. Nah, Yuki did her job in the story. Good job. Exactly. I respect that, Weeb Guru. Great minds think alike. Thank you for the dono. But yeah, regardless of how you feel her ending was, I think Yuki is a great character for what she represented and what she did. If you think her ending wasn't that great, that's fine. But I like Yuki. I'm willing to put her in A. I'm definitely willing to put her in A for me. We also have another A tier character. Another A tier character, which honestly, I'm just going to put you right next to Yuki. Kenjaku is another A tier character for me. Kenjaku could have been S tier. Kenjaku could have been S tier for sure. But unfortunately, at least as of right now, the way that Kenjaku's story has ended leaves a gaping hole in my heart, to be completely honest with you. Kenjaku, professional yapper himself, the sorcerer that survived thousands of years, prolonging his life by brain hopping body to body, taking down different curse techniques, fighting against the Six Eyes users and Tengen for as much as he possibly could, all in the name of straight up chaos and just creating the craziest thing that you possibly can just because you can. I think Kenjaku is an amazing final villain. I think Kenjaku, for all intents and purposes, makes a better final villain for Jujutsu Kaisen than Sukuna does, in my honest opinion, even though I know that's a pretty hot take. But I think Kenjaku just moves the plot along. He has such a manipulation and control over the narrative. He's always in the shadows. Everything that happens in the story revolves around him. And the fact that he came this far and died to Takaba, and then Yuta sneak attacks him right before he accomplishes his goal, and then just gives it all to Sukuna and says, all right, I got it. I got us this far. It's okay though. Sukuna will do it. I'll never see what I created for 1,000 years, but it's okay. It just leaves a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. A little lackluster for me. If he had a better ending, if we saw more of Kenjaku's origins and upcoming story where he got this idea in his head, or saw him do evil deeds in the past, or got a fucking Heian era backstory, or saw more with Kenjaku and Tengen. So much was left vague with Kenjaku. There's so many times where Kenjaku just vague posts and alludes to knowledge instead of just giving it to us. And then now that Kenjaku's dead, we may never get that knowledge. Why did Kenjaku make Yuji? Why did we do all this stuff? It's just like, there's so many things left on the floor that I would have loved an answer for me. So if that's the case, I could only give Kenjaku an A for everything that he does, but with all those unanswered questions left in his wake, it leaves me from putting him at S, even though he definitely had potential to be S, no doubt. Definitely had potential to be S without a doubt. Okay. Up next, we've got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Hikari fucking Kinji. And yeah, I will put Hikari right next to Yuta, right next to Yuki. Hikari, the restless gambler, pure aura. Hikari has great design, a super fun personality. His entire idea of the fever, of having passion, of doing things that get him excited, and just loving overall just the thrill of fighting and sorcery, but most importantly, standing up for what he believes is right and being a man of his word. When Kashimo goes to fight Sukuna, Hikari steps in to fight Arame. Is Kashimo Hikari's best friend? No, but Hikari made a promise and he's got to stick to it. Could you say that's a binding vow? Sure, but I digress. Hikari respects Yuta, his younger Kohai, and looks at him with respect. I said that twice. I said respect twice, but looks at the things that he says and the knowledge that he has as maturity, and is willing to look at that and take it as honest and genuine advice and philosophy, as opposed to just looking down upon the people below him because he thinks that he knows the best. For as hard-headed as Hikari is, he's also very open-minded at the same time. Hikari's domain expansion fits his personality perfectly. Hikari has one of the greatest fights of all time with Kashimo, while also having one of the longest fights of all nothing against Arame. We haven't seen him in 20 chapters because he just keeps getting cut back to where him and Arame are fighting. Yeah, Hikari is very close to an S tier character for me, but lacks that extra him energy that Todo and Toji have, unfortunately. Up next is Kirara. I love Kirara as a character. I think they are awesome. I'm going to give Kirara a B tier. I love Kirara's curse technique. Star Rendezvous or Love Rendezvous is one of the most interesting curse techniques of all time that Gege ever created. I love Kirara's fight with Megami. I think it's a really good fight for Megami in all intents and purposes. I think it really shows how far that Megami has come, that not only is he able to stomp a third year in Kyoto school, which again is the dog water school, but he's also able to beat a third year from his own school, and a third year with one of the most convoluted and most ridiculous curse techniques of all time. I think that small little blip in the story is very fun, and I think for, you know, I think for the role that they play, I think Kirara does a great job as head of the security of the Fight Club. I can't really say more than that. I think Kirara fits their role well, and they have a very cool fight with Megami. Up next is Naoya Zenin. Naoya frickin' Zenin. Let's just get it over with. S tier character for sure. S tier fucking villain. Naoya is a piece of shit. Fuck Naoya. Fuck the misogyny missile and everything that he stands for. But God, don't you just love to hate this man? Gege popped off when he was writing Naoya. Gege really made one of the most detestable POSs in very most recent anime manga. Now, Gege knows very well how to make a character unfucking likable, just irredeemable, just pure disgusting. The fact that you would even be willing to put pen to page and draw this character shows you've got a dark side to you for sure. But Naoya's integration into Maki's story, his integration as pretty much the representation of all of the evil that resides in the Zenin clan, he hits so many notes way more than Naobito ever could. His fight against Choso, his introduction as wanting to be the head of the Zenin clan and going against everyone and willing to go underhanded and go against his even own clan members just to become head because he feels he deserves it, his entitlement, his massive cockiness, and just disgustingness. A woman needs to stay 3 steps behind a man, crazy fucking dialogue. His fight against Maki during Perfect Preparation is an awesome fight, only for that to be all followed up by him becoming a vengeful spirit as the pure representation of the evil of the Zenin clan and their disgusting views. And then he grows even more and more as an evil POS in that moment, fighting against Maki, Kamo Noritoshi, and Mayo and Daido. And just the misogyny missile moment. He has an awesome domain expansion. Having Naoya over Kenjaku is crazy. The thing is when I think of an evil villain, when I think of a character that just did it for me more in Jujutsu Kaisen, it's Naoya. Naoya is completely fleshed out. He's fully complete lore-wise. He comes full circle with everything, whereas Kenjaku is missing that oomph for me. Kenjaku could be an S-tier character, but I just think with all the missing information that we have about him, I can't consider Kenjaku an S-tier character. Naoya, however, I think full, complete 100% looking at him from beginning to end, I think he's a masterpiece of a character. I don't think you could have done Naoya any differently. I don't think you could have done him any better or worse. I think Naoya was done great. I like how he tried to be Toji and then Maki destroyed him. Exactly. His whole backstory. The reason why he's a selfish POS. He got an S for being a loser. Yeah, exactly. You love to hate him. Again, Naoya carries mad Ramsey Bolton energy for me. Where it's like, I fucking can't stand Ramsey Bolton, but I love him as a character. The things that he does, crazy. Anyway, that being said, I think Maki can go right next to Naoya. I think Maki can go right next to Naoya for sure. Maki, in my opinion, best girl for sure. And the reason why I give Maki an S is because I think the entire story beat of Maki, Naoya, and everything like that are just Gege's peak fiction, in my honest opinion. I think Perfect Preparation, Maki's dismantling of the Zenin clan, is something that was foreshadowed way back early in the exchange event. I think Maki kills it in the exchange event of becoming a very likable character. I think the foreshadowing is set up perfectly in Shibuya Incident when she sees Toji. And then I think since becoming Perfect Preparation Maki, I think Maki has only just jumped up in scale. I love Maki. Maki over Yuta is wild. Maki has the backstory, complete character arc, and lore that Yuta wishes he had. Yuta has complete character arc and lore. He does not have that same background story and just everything that sets him up for defeating the villain that he needs to. Isn't he going to be in season 3 because of the fight of him and Choso versus Yuta? Yep. Naoya will be in season 3 for sure. You know what? Honestly, I think actually I lied to you. I think Maki goes closer to Kenjaku Mekamaru status. Can't put Maki on S tier. I can't. Think Maki goes right below Mekamaru. Top of A, but I don't think I just don't think S. Is there an A plus? Should there be a middle ground here? No. Nope. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yep. Maki is Maki's top of A. Makes sense. I can't put Maki next to Mahito or Nanami. Because after perfect preparation and after her arc is complete and after she kills Curse Spirit Naoya, she's just a smoke demon, you know? Her story's over. I don't think she hits as hard as like Nanami or Mahito do. I just don't. Frankly. I just don't. Yeah, okay, that sits right for me. Below Mekamaru? Yeah, I think Mekamaru's story hits harder. No, that's a lie. Maki's story hits harder than Mekamaru's. Okay. Maki above Mekamaru. Right below Kenjaku. Let me check these donos. Have I missed anything? Weeb Guru, thank you for the donos. Thank you for the $6. Hikari helped fill the void of Toto while gone. This is true. Hikari was a good Toto substitute, but he's not as good as the real thing. Not as good as the real thing. Let's go, baby. My boy got Ness. I assume you're talking about Naoya there. Yep. And the sexist has one. That's crazy. Hold on. Live chat. Go back to live chat. Thank you. Why is Mekamaru even an A? Because I think Mekamaru as a character, as a story, in general, was... Evening Festival is one of my favorite parts of Jujutsu Kaisen. I am a little biased when it comes to that. I won't lie to you. I am a little biased. I think Mekamaru versus Mahito is one of my favorite fights. But either way. Which anime studio would y'all want to do JJK Season 3? Keep it as Mappa, for sure. Keep it as Mappa. As disgusting of a company as Mappa is, I don't want to change styles anytime soon. All right, let's run through. We've been streaming for about 2.5 hours. We got, I want to kind of finish this by the 3-hour mark. So we got 30 minutes left. Let's run through. We got a lot of NPCs coming up though, so it should be pretty easy. This is going to be a relatively very easy. Ogi Zenin. Trash. I mean, do I even have to say it? Bro is just an awful character. Not only is he an L dad, terrible dad. He blames his children for not becoming the head of the Zenin clan. Bro, take your own accountability. If you really were Himothy, they couldn't use your kids against you. And 3, you got diced up by Maki in no time after talking your top game. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Next is fucking Tengen. And I mean, is Tengen really more than an NPC? Is Tengen really anything more than an NPC? One of the most important characters of the entire series? NPC status? Tengen has done nothing most of the entire story besides be very vague, lead us astray, be wrong about where Angel was, didn't help out much at all in the Yuki and Shoso versus Kenjaku fight, didn't realize that Kenjaku would have an open barrier and was unable to dispel the open barrier. Tengen sucks. Tengen abducts children to use as star plasma vessels. Tengen's just not a good person. Not a good person at all. She should have just stayed as an immortal tree instead of whatever the fuck thumb monster from Spy Kids she came out looking like. And yeah, Tengen is just is literally the embodiment of a non-playable character. Should make a plot device tier. Tengen's not the only character that would fit that. Nope, I feel like NPC fits fine. You are an NP fucking C, buddy. I mean, she was a baddie. Fair enough. Not good enough. All right, we've got 3 trash forgettables in a row. Hanyu, which is hair jetpack lady. Haba, who is hair helicopter dude. Amai, who is fucking creating sugar random guy who for some reason is a part of the ally group and helping us against Sukuna by using his sugar properties. What kind of curse technique is that, bro? Open a pastry shop in America or something. Why did Kamo leave overseas but this guy stayed? You know what I mean? Like, go live your life, bro. What are you doing here? Remy, trash, forgettable. Renamai deserves NPC because he helped Yuji? Nah. That sugar technique was the final straw. That sugar technique was the final fucking straw, bro. How much more garbage water can you get? How much more garbage water can you get? Replaceable. I wish I had his curse technique, honestly. That's fair. Yeah, his curse technique works literally anywhere else but sorcery fight. We've Guru, thank you for the 2. Put Yuji, Kashimo, Gojo, and Sukuna in S. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here, okay? We got a couple decent characters left here to yap about. Couple decent good characters to yap about. Trash forgettables, pretty full, I should say. So is NPC. Damn, crazy. Anyway, you see who's next. You already know. Higuruma Hiromi, S tier character, without a doubt. I'm not above Mahito, probably in between Mahito and Nanami. Higuruma Hiromi is a Giga Chad, one of the greatest characters that Gege has ever created of all time. He is the lawyer of all lawyers. My man has a peak backstory of just wanting to be the one lawyer that could do something against Japan's 99% conviction rate. And be the one good guy in a sea of bad guys. People are like, not all cops are bad. You just got a couple bad apples. Higuruma's the good cop. Higuruma's the good guy. Higuruma's the one they're talking about here. Higuruma's backstory is so relatable, so believable. The bro snapped on one of the most reasonable things that I could have ever, like, I can't even blame Higuruma for snapping like he did. He said, fuck you guys, this system is corrupt and I'm changing it right now, and then killed a bunch of people. And then now he's making up for it by being a good guy, helping us out as an ally, and fighting against Sukuna, the king of fucking curses. And in only being a sorcerer for a month, he's already, one, done more than Kama Noritoshi has done in the entire series. Two, learn domain amplification and reverse curse technique all in one day to fight against the king of curses as equally as he possibly could have. Higuruma would have been a great teacher in Jujutsu Kaisen, a great long-lasting character who honestly has the hearts of many fans for good reason. His story is real, his fight against Yuji is awesome, his domain expansion is perfect for him. And if you haven't seen my Yuji versus Higuruma analysis, it's like 3 years old at this point, so it's probably piss poor quality, but like the amount of dynamic writing that went into Higuruma as a whole, his mental anguish, and the fact that Yuji is the one that saves him from the light, and then Yuji's the one that he tosses his light to in his final moments. Iconic, beautiful. You cannot convince me Higuruma isn't peak character, peak Jujutsu Kaisen character. Up next, we've got Itadori fucking Yuji. And I'll be honest, I really can't put him anywhere above A. I'm gonna put him right next to Choso. Put him right next to his big brother. Yuji is an amazing main character. I can't stress that enough. Yuji, I love having Yuji on screen. Yuji as a protagonist just does it for me. There's something about Gege Akutami and his cycle of suffering that he himself has even admitted to foregoing training arcs for making their character lose enough times to where the audience goes, this guy can't fucking lose anymore, he needs to fucking turn up. And I do not care what anyone says. That is wholeheartedly what Gege is hitting the notes every time, if that's truly what he's going for, because Yuji is a hardcore main character. He does what he needs to do, fights against impossible odds all of the time, and despite the fact that he may always need help, we have to remember that he's only been a sorcerer for a couple months, not even a full year, and yet he's already beating enemies like Hanami, Mahito with his brother Todo, you know, fighting with people like Yuta, fighting with people like Higuruma, and in the Shinjuku Shodown, after all of his training, he's truly become the master of the Black Sparks. Yuji is an awesome main character. His growth since the beginning, Shibuya incident, the Malevolent Shrine that killed everyone, and his throwing up afterwards, and then fighting Mahito afterwards, and coming to his senses from Todo. Yuji has some of my most favorite moments of the entire series. So I genuinely really like the development that Yuji's gotten over time. I don't think he's an S tier character though. He doesn't quite have the sauce that the S tier characters have, right? Mahito is a much better character than Yuji is, even though Yuji and Mahito are two sides of the same coin. Higuruma, all the characters that Yuji kind of interlocks with and mixes with end up being better than him, just because Yuji's arc isn't complete. It's possible by the end of the series, Yuji will be S tier, and I have full faith in that. I have full faith in that, 110%. By the end of the series, Yuji will be an S tier main character. But as of right now, high A tier, but the better written characters that are more fleshed out, in my opinion, just have it above him for sure. Reggie Star is gonna be another B tier character for me. You can go right next to Kirara. I know Reggie gets a lot of hate. I know Reggie is probably the least favorite culling game villain of all time. I don't care what anyone says. I love Mr. Receipt Guy. I love Reggie Star. First of all, it all starts at his name. Register, Reggie Star. Gege, you kidding me, bro? You were cooking with that. Reggie's entire character, he's such a smart, perfect con man, the perfect representation of what a sorcerer is supposed to be, tricks and deceit. He supposedly knows Kenjaku, knows what's going on, and is planning against Kenjaku's overall bomb, quote unquote, that he's going to be dropping by allying himself with as many strong sorcerers as he can and pooling their points together. Whatever you want to say about Reggie, I think Reggie was a great character for Megami to fight with. I think Reggie's curse technique is a very, very smart and very creative curse technique. And even up against Megami's domain expansion, Reggie fought tooth and nail to win. At the end of the day, was outbested in sorcery as a whole, in deceit and tricks, in shenanigans. So I love Reggie versus Megami. I know that fight gets a lot of hate, but yeah, Reggie I think is a B tier character. He's a great villain. He's a fun one-time villain in my opinion. Have I seen the rumor that Shinjuku Showdown will end in 5 chapters and then enter the final part of the story? No, I haven't heard that rumor at all. I mean, who knows? I know the editor said we're approaching the climax. Again, since Todo showed up, I knew we were kind of cutting it close. Todo is an end game character. Todo only deals in the climaxes. He deals with Hanamis. He deals with Mahitos. Now he's dealing with Sukunas. Todo showing up was the mark of the end. I'm telling you. That's why he's an S tier. Todo is basically Absol from Pokemon. If he shows up, you know shit's about to go down. Hazanoki Iori. This may be a hot take entirely. I like Hazanoki Iori. I think he's another great villain in the culling game. I think he sits right next to Reggie in B tier. I know a lot of people will probably say he should go in C tier, but I think Hazanoki has a fun personality, a cool design. His curse technique is interesting and unique. He can use reverse curse technique on a level unlike any I've seen before. And he's one of the only characters that Gege, I guess, deemed important enough to have die on screen, because we don't know what happened to all the other culling game players. Ishigori died on screen, and now Hazanoki also died on screen, but he also put up a pretty decent, you know, final fight. I like Hazanoki. I think he's cool. If y'all were a sorcerer, how smart do y'all think would be as a sorcerer? That's tough to say, because most people overestimate their intelligence always. Most people are going to be like, I'd be smart enough to figure that out, when it's like, nah, maybe not. You probably wouldn't be. So I don't like measuring my own intelligence, to be honest with you. I'll let other people do that for me. I don't know how smart I would be. You have Angel, who trash, forgettable. Absolutely trash and forgettable. Angel is garbage. Angel is a character that had so much hype, so much potential to be super cool, and then literally dropped all of that on the floor and spilled it like fucking aged old milk. Angel's only personality trait being that they liked Megami. Angel potentially having the power to end it all and save all of our skins and kill Sukuna, fumbles the ball. From that point on, Angel and Hana do nothing to redeem themselves in the story. Angel and Hana could be fighting in the Shinjuku Showdown, helping, coming up with a plan. They don't do shit. Sure, Angel explains that Takaba should fight Kenjaku, but fuck it. Trash. Fell for the oldest trick in the book. Yuta copy fodder. A Heian era flashback might redeem her. Again, a Heian era flashback in general is required. But yeah, trash, forgettable. Angel, you fucked up and it's all your fault, just like your boyfriend Megami. Next on the list, we've got Charles fucking Bernard. And Charles, you go in C tier. Come on, grab the thing. You go in C tier, Charles. I'll give him higher than NPC because he has a fun fight with Hikari, and the fact that he's a brand new, fresh spanking sorcerer and is able to swing with Hikari is crazy. His introduction as a manga artist, Gege's self-insert, exactly. Literally Gege's self-insert with the future sight curse technique. I think being Gege's self-insert, his introduction as a manga artist separates him from the normal NPCs. He's got a character and personality that some of the NPCs just, frankly, in my opinion, don't have. So yeah. I think Charles Bernard deserves a C tier with Kamo Noritoshi. At the very least, deserves a C tier with Kamo Noritoshi. Hikari used Domain against him, right? Yep, exactly. Hikari did use Domain against Charles, so that bumps him up as well. We've got Panda, who I'll probably put in B tier. I think Panda makes the most sense in B tier. Honestly, I was gonna put Panda in C, as a lot of you guys are saying in chat. Panda is a really big gimmick character, a big gag character. The idea that there's a talking, walking panda is just funny, and the fact that no one ever explains it ever when given the chance is also a funny joke. Panda's fight against Mechamaru in the exchange event is a great fight. I think Panda, as opposed to a character like Inumaki, fits very well with the other characters in the protagonist group, probably because he's able to talk and not just talk in rice ball ingredients. So Panda has a lot of funny moments with the cast. I also think that, as many of you are saying, his sister is a fraud, but I think the ending chapter that we got of Panda and his siblings was great storytelling. Another Gege one-shot banger that I think is enough for me to push Panda into the B tier, along with Nobara and other characters like that. Other than that, I would probably consider Panda a C tier, but that backstory and the writing that goes behind Panda's siblings, as well as even Panda's cry scene, where Panda has to deal with Yaga's death, and Panda is still smart enough and reasonable enough to realize that Gaku Kanji, even though he's the one that has blood on his hands, it's really the higher-ups that caused Yaga's death, not Gaku Kanji, which is an admirable take on the situation, especially when it's your own dad that died. So yeah, Panda gets a B for me. Has definitely more character than Inumaki does, for sure, and I like it more than Kamo does. I want Panda to have a purpose besides the gag. I mean, he has the souls of children in him, and Yaga made several little other friends, so he has a necromancer. Yeah, no, Panda and Yaga as a whole are a very underutilized plot point in the story as a whole. Yaga's entire puppet manipulation, Panda's siblings, everything is just kind of not really fleshed out, which leads me to putting him in a B, a lower rank than like an A or an S. All right. All right. Here it comes. This is gonna be the hottest take of the night. The hottest take of the night, guys. This is it right here. This is it right here. Kashimo, S tier. S tier Kashimo Hajime. I know I'm gonna catch flack for that, but it's fine. Kashimo has him energy, and there's nothing more that needs to be said about it. Kashimo as a character is basically Maharaga, but with a personality. Nothing but grit and fucking strength, power. The symbolism of a high level, no nonsense sorcerer that not only had one of the greatest fights of the entire series against Hikari, after dying to Sukuna and fulfilling his purpose as the character that bit off more than he could chew, I think he serves his purpose greatly as the strongest character from the Edo period that was way too greedy and could have had a great fight with Ishiguro Ryu, and instead chose to forsake their entire life, hop dimensions, hop timelines, and fucking travel to the future where Kashimo could fight Sukuna and die like a man. Bro jumped into a fight and got his ass beat, lost aura seeing that fight. See, the thing is, I have been expecting Kashimo to get diced and one-shotted by Sukuna since the very beginning. There is footage of me 2 years ago when Kashimo was created and first debuted that I said this character is gonna get turned into the results of a cheese grater after he meets Sukuna. There's no way Kashimo is going to be able to fight Sukuna. I don't know where this idea that Kashimo would ever be able to fight Sukuna came from. I don't know who glazed them up. I don't know who made people think that Kashimo was gonna have a good fight against Sukuna, but I always knew from the get-go Kashimo was a strong character that was gonna get dusted by Sukuna in one hit. And what happened? He got dusted by Sukuna in one hit. I think Kashimo fit his role perfect and fulfilled the character that literally is one of the strongest characters. He's basically another Jogo. He's very similar to Jogo as well. Bro never had a W. I mean, meh. Bro got 200 points, no problem. Or, yeah, 200 points, no problem. Murking people left and right. And killed Hikari 3 to 4 times. If Hikari was not immortal, Kashimo would have killed him 3 times. Kashimo proved he was the better sorcerer literally 4 times than against Hikari. Kashimo is way stronger than Hikari. No op, when we gonna get the Vandenreich versus Gojo JJK matchup video? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe when Bleach comes out. We still got 2 more seasons of 1,000-Year Blood War left. But yeah, I love Kashimo. I have a special place in my heart for Kashimo. I think everything about Kashimo was perfect. I don't think you could have done him any better. His want and need to be the strongest. His ending was beautiful in my opinion. I loved Kashimo. I love Kashimo. Kashimo is one of my favorite characters of all time. But you know what? I think he probably sits closer more down to like this level. I don't think he should be S tier. I've talked myself out of it. Probably above Yuta, I would say. I'd probably put Kashimo right above Yuta in A tier. Right above. Oh no. Come on. This tier list has not been working for me today. Okay. There we go. A tier. That way everyone can relax. Everyone can chill. For the real hot take, which is Takaba in S tier, baby. I was just greasing you up for the real blow, baby. Greasing you up. Takaba S tier, S plus tier. I gotta make my own row for Takaba in general. We won, baby. It's here, baby. It's true. It's here. Nah, honestly, Takaba is an S tier. That's definitely a joke. But I would definitely put Takaba like low of A. You know what? Yeah, he goes right next to Maharaga. I think that makes perfect sense. I love Takaba. I don't care what anyone says. Takaba is a goat. I've always thought Takaba was a goat. I love the gag character idea. Takaba's got one of his nuts hanging out at all times, which is literally insane. Takaba canonically fought the main villain Kenjaku and won, which is wild. Absolutely wild. His curse technique is literally one of the strongest things in the entire world. And just, yeah, the added backstory that we got in his fight with Kenjaku is what levels him up to A tier. I probably would have put him in B tier, but that added backstory of him never being able to find a partner and him always overcompensating for comedy because of that, and then finally meeting a partner in Kenjaku, and then the entire fight revolving around them having to outsmart one another in the comedic world. Loved it. I thought it was a great idea, and while again a lot of the jokes might have been lost in translation, I loved the idea and I loved the creativity that Gege put into Takaba. That entire fight was bonkers. Takaba is an iconic character, and I think he's definitely an A tier character. What happened to him at the end of the fight? I'm pretty sure he's just taking a nap. He used all of his energy. He's taking a nap now. If I had to limit to only 3 S tiers, could I choose what 3 would be at the end? Probably not. If I had to take anyone out of the S tier class, I'd probably move Toto out. If I had to take anyone out of S tier, it would be Toto. But like, I feel fine having it like a top 5. Mahito, Higuruma, Nanami, Naoya, Toji. Those are definitely high up characters for sure. But let's keep going through it. We're coming up on the 3-hour mark when I want it to be done. We've got Dhruv Lakdwala. Trash, forgettable. Literally got off-screened by Yuta. Just awful character. What was Gege cooking with you, Dhruv? Trash. Kurorushi, NPC. You could go right next to Smallpox Deity, Curse Womb. That's crazy, though. Let me drop these, because they're not really... Just moving things around here. Don't mind me. Just moving things around. But yeah, Kurorushi, I think NPC makes sense. Kurorushi's the cockroach curse spirit. Not much more to say than that. Just doing some moving. Hold on. All right, that makes sense. Up next is Ishigori Ryu. Hey guys, are we here? Do you see me? My OBS disconnected and then reconnected. Are we still here? We all good? Okay. Okay. So yeah, when it comes to Ishigori, top of B. Ishigori is a fun character. I think he fits very well in Sendai Colony as a fighter against Yuta. I think his whole dessert shtick is great. I enjoy it a lot. Granite Blast is insane. I think the Pompadour looks stupid, and I think Ishigori with his hair down right when he dies to Yuta or loses to Yuta, I think is peak Ishigori. That's what Ishigori's character design should have been, because the Pompadour just ain't it, I'll be honest with you, but I digress. He bit off way more than he could chew against Sukuna, which is sad because I would have loved to have seen him as like an ally, but he had to get taken out of the story clearly. But he's got a cool design overall. He fits as a great jobber villain against Yuta. He's got a great personality and he's fun to watch. He definitely deserves to be sitting around with like Arame and Naobito as like decent characters for sure. Oro, in my opinion, probably goes right next to him. Right around Arame and Naobito's level. And Oro, same thing as Ishigori, a great villain and a great enemy for Yuta to face in Sendai Colony. Sky manipulation is an awesome curse technique. The whole entire assassin aspect where she's a member of the Sun, Moon, and Stars, and she hates the Fujiwara, so that gives her a grudge against Yuta just when she meets him. She's a super cool character. I would have liked to have seen her, of all people, be an ally for us in the protagonist crew against the Sukuna King of Curses fight. Specifically because she hasn't shown up since Sendai Colony. We don't know where she is. She felt Sukuna's presence and then Ishigori died. Did she die after Ishigori? Did Kenjaku kill her in the hunt? We don't know what happened with Yoro. So I don't know. Like, I would have loved to have seen her be an ally because we could have gotten so much information about the Heian era from Yoro. So potentially, if there is an arc after Shinjuku Showdown, if we meet up with Yoro in between, I would enjoy that. Pretty sure she showed up before the Kenjaku and Takaba fight. That was not Yoro. That was a different girl who, for some reason, Gege drew the exact same as Yoro, but that girl had like a hair curse technique, not sky manipulation. It's like the fourth NPC Gege gave a NPC, the fourth NPC Gege gave a fucking hair technique to. Up next, we've got Mayo and Daido. I won't lie to you, both NPC characters. They show up for a little bit in Sakurajima Colony to help Maki grow as a character, but I mean, other than that, they're basically just plot devices. They're basically the equivalent of Rika. Like, they show up to help teach Maki how to grow and be a better character, and then they're never seen again. We don't even know where they are currently. I mean, to be honest, they do get almost torn to shreds by Naoya's domain expansion, but still, where are they? Did they die? Are they good? Are they, you know, we could use all the help we can get. But yeah, no, that literally just plot device no jutsu. That's all they stand for. So we're in the last couple of characters here. Time to get serious. Some of these takes are going to be very hot because we're approaching characters that are going to be very controversial. Yorozu, a character that gets a lot of hate, that honestly I put at a similar level as like Orame, Naobito, Oro. I really like Yorozu, despite all of the hate that Yorozu gets for stealing Sumiki's character, taking all character development and personality away from Sumiki. I love Yorozu for the sheer fact that she perfectly encapsulates everything that the Heian era is supposed to be. She's a character who very much selfishly, psychopathically, and unapologetically does what she wants and goes after what she wants without caring what anybody thinks about her. She thinks Sukuna's hot. She wants to marry Sukuna, so fuck it. She's gonna go out there and get Sukuna no matter what. Whether she has to burn down villages, kill other people to do it, destroy entire cities, or bring down the entire world. She is the perfect encapsulation of, or the perfect embodiment, I should say, of what a sorcerer is meant to be when they self-indulge to the perfect amount, when they are nothing but selfish, self-sustaining vessels of cursed energy. She is also my 2.0 and gives Gege the luxury of fully exploring the construction curse technique at an advanced level of power. Obviously, my down there in the trash and forgettable tier down there, I mean, is using construction to make one bullet. Not that impressive. Whereas Yorozu's got the metal sand, third Kazekage from Naruto kind of deal. They've got the insect armor. She's got her domain expansion, perfect sphere. She is a strong contestant in the culling game that if she went up against any of the main characters, probably would have caused us a very big problem. Sukuna was probably one of the only characters that could have taken on Yorozu. We have to make that clear. Yorozu was swinging with a 15-finger Sukuna. Don't forget that. So yeah, Yorozu B tier for sure. Yorozu B tier for sure. Up next, we've got Mr. Megami. And Mr. Megami, I'll put you right next to your boy Yuji in A tier. Megami, despite my memes, despite me making fun of Megami and saying everything is his fault and he's a selfish asshole who is willing to let the world die because he's a little sad. As controversial as that is, I understand Megami's trauma. I understand Megami's sadness. I understand Megami wanting to do anything he could for Sumiki and not really thinking about what the possibilities of what saving Sumiki could have done for us. Megami, I think, is a great, fun character. I loved watching him grow and develop throughout the series. I loved seeing all of his different fights. I loved seeing his curse technique with the 10 shadows slowly get better over time as he learned more and more different ways to use it, especially when we get to things like the Underground Fight Club, when he's like ducking in and out of people's shadows. The 10 shadows is an awesome curse technique. Maharaga, Megami summoning Maharaga is an iconic meme. I mean, I made a 45-minute video all about Megami and Megami's character and the lore behind him and how much he's grown over the course of the series. It was one of my less viewed videos because I don't think Megami's a very popular character as much as he used to be. But I was able to yap for 45 minutes about Megami and how much I loved Megami and what Megami went throughout the entire series. So I have to tell you, regardless of if you feel Megami's wasted or if Megami's potential man or if Megami has just forsaken all of us and sucks now. I think for what we got of Megami was a great character, a great protagonist, a great, you know, second string main protagonist. I think his arc, especially in the Culling games, was peak fiction. I loved watching him throw away his humanity and his sense of self just to save his sister, start killing people, and just go and surpass his limits and become a sorcerer that shares a lot in common with Sukuna of all people. But yeah, despite what everyone says of Megami falling off, yeah, he's still top 2 in Japan. His downfall was due to his short-sightedness. It's a good arc, but he himself sucks. Yeah, I think him losing to Sukuna and losing his bye to Sukuna was the perfect complete circle of his arc, which is why I'm okay with Megami not coming back. Up next is fucking Curse Beast Agito, which, I mean, I would give NPC, but Gojo just embarrassed Agito way too much. Agito's got to go in trash forgettable. Agito got embarrassed by Gojo. Fucking embarrassed. And that will never change. The combination of 5 different of Megami's Shikigamis. Trash, forgettable. 1 blue took it out. Done. And now, the last 2 characters of the tier list. The last 2 characters. Gojo and Sukuna. Where do they sit? Let's start with Gojo. Where do I think Gojo ranks? Welp, I think it's pretty poetic. But a lot of you guys might not like it. I think of all places, I think Gojo should go right next to Geto in A tier. Definitely don't think Gojo's an S tier. Would not put Gojo in S. Definitely not one of my top characters at all. Why do I think Gojo isn't an S? He doesn't move me, honestly, to be fair. He doesn't move me. He doesn't move me. Gojo is your classic overpowered character. He's the honored one. He's the strongest sorcerer in current day. Not so much anymore. And other than that, I mean, yeah. He's funny. He's a big goofball. Honestly, Gojo is probably the idea. Gojo is like the perfect idea of how I think I would act if I was an overpowered character in anime. Just be a big fucking goofball and not take anything seriously and just find everything funny and just be a joke to everybody, except when you have to take stuff seriously. But other than that, I think Gojo fits the bill of being the overpowered character well. He's an OP character done right, as plenty of people are mentioning. However, the overpowered character isn't my favorite trope. It's not, the overpowered character is not getting in my top 5. It's just not, unfortunately. The overpowered trope isn't for me. I prefer characters that have more aura, that earn their aura, as opposed to characters like Gojo that are blessed with the best and are just flaunting it in everybody's faces. His Honored One Awakening is great. Hidden Inventory arc is one of the greatest small knit stories in the series. I think the narrative that's being brought up now of Gojo being a weapon for Jujutsu Society is great. I think Gege's really cooking with that idea. Gojo being a brat, and being willing to kill all of the Time Star cult members after Rico dies. Top tier moment. He's a great character. He's an awesome character. I don't think he hits the writing highs of Mahito, Higuruma, Nanami, Naoya. You know what I mean? He just doesn't. What do I mean Gojo didn't earn his aura? That's a bad take. What did Gojo do to... Gojo was born with the 6 eyes and limitless. Sure, Gojo's the strongest because he put in work. He learned simple domain, has great cursed energy control, and is an awesome sorcerer and an awesome fighter. But at the end of the day, he literally was just born him. Gojo's birth literally changed the balance of the world. Yeah, the overpowered trope, like Gojo doesn't get top 5 for me just because he's the strongest character in the series and he's got cool moments. Like, yeah, he's a really cool character, but you wouldn't catch me dead putting Gojo in my top 5. I would be embarrassed to put Gojo in my top 5, to be honest. He's just not my type of guy. And I know Jesse's gonna kill me for saying that, but he's just not my type of guy. He's a good written character. Sure, I think he's the overpowered character done well, but I think characters like Yuki, I think Mekamaru as a character, I enjoyed reading Evening Festival way more than I enjoyed Gojo being in the story. Personally, I don't care that someone didn't work for their abilities. It's not a big thing for me, but it also I would respect it more if he did. But yeah, no, I think Gojo's a great A-tier character. But I would definitely say Kenjaku's a better written character than Gojo for sure. And honestly, here it comes, you know, here comes the other, you know, hot take as a whole in general. Yeah, Sukuna probably going somewhere, you know, maybe like right around here, probably going right next to Yuji, honestly. Probably going right next to Yuji, right around like Yuta level, you know. Like right around here, like right around there. Maybe above Hikari. Yeah, like right in between Yuta and Hikari. Sukuna, also A tier. Nobody wins. Gojo fans, Sukuna fans, nobody wins. Gojo and Sukuna, both A-tier characters. And here is my hot take at the end of it, because we're coming into the last 10 minutes of the stream. I'm going to end at 3:30. Or 3 hours and 30 minutes, I should say. Sukuna and Gojo are super fun characters. They're very fun to see on screen. They're super fun to see people beat up. They have nothing but pure, you know, aura. Their fights, they're fun to watch to kill people. I said it before, but like, that's it. Like, why do I think Mahito's an S-tier character, but Sukuna's an A-tier character? Mahito's writing as a villain. The way that Mahito affects Yuji, the things that Mahito does to Yuji, the awful things that Mahito does to the people around him. Mahito is peak villain writing. Higuruma's entire lawyer scenario, his story, Higuruma's character, Naoya's misogyny. Naoya is a more memorable villain in my opinion than Sukuna is. Sukuna is a villain who is great as an overpowered character, same as Gojo. Great as an overpowered character, same as Gojo. But Sukuna does not propel the plot forward. Gojo does not propel the plot forward. You know who propels the plot forward? Kenjaku propels the plot forward. Naoya propels the plot forward. Higuruma, Mahito propel the plot forward. The things that these characters do change the story for the good, or the better, or the worse, even. The things that these characters do leave lasting impact. Sure, Sukuna has a crazy moment against Jogo. He has a crazy moment against Maharaga. Crazy moment against Fingerbearer. He's been fighting everybody for the last 30 fucking chapters. He has one of the greatest fights of all time against Gojo. But that's it. People don't like Sukuna because, oh my god, the way that Gege wrote Sukuna is so beautiful. Sukuna is just such an amazing character. I could write for hours about Sukuna's and analyze Sukuna's personality. You can't do that. You just can't do that. You can yap about how strong Sukuna is and how legendary he's supposed to be and the kind of things he's supposed to have done in the Heian era, but when it comes to who is Sukuna, that essay gets a lot shorter. Essay gets a lot shorter. Same with Gojo. Gojo is a little bit more. I won't give him that same thing. I think Gojo could put a couple more paragraphs to page, but that's because he got hidden inventory. Gojo got a lot more development. We saw Gojo who he was before he was at his peak. We've never seen Sukuna except in his peak, so we can't really relate to him because Sukuna is just there. You know, like, I love Sukuna. I would not put him on the same level as like Mahito, Higuruma, Nanami, Naoya, some of the greatest characters that he's ever written. And I think here this is where and I think this is where we add the A+. This is where we add the A+. Because I think Toji and Todo, while again, I think stealing the show more than all of the characters in A, design and aura enough is not enough to propel you into the top S, the top echelon of writing, the top echelon of character, which is, in my opinion, the 4 characters you see before you in S. I think these characters, while being on a level of their own, don't, and I think, honestly, I think Kenjaku moves up too, honestly. Honestly, I think Kenjaku moves up as well too. I think that's the perfect representation. I think that's about as good as it gets. I would honestly probably tell you that these 4 were probably my top 4 Jujutsu Kaisen characters when it comes to just enjoying the characters. Mahito, I guess, front and center, is my favorite Jujutsu Kaisen character. Higuruma would be my second. I'd probably put Nanami over. I'd probably put Naoya over Nanami. Is Naoya really my top 3? That's crazy. I like Kashimo. This is now I'm just gonna be fiddling around with all this shit, because I like Kashimo more than I like Gojo, and I like Geto more than I like Gojo. I like Yuta more than I like Gojo. Yep, I think that tracks. I did indeed take Toji out of S. Yeah, I'm sorry. I took Toji out of S. I put Toji in A+. I just can't justify. Okay. I like Dagon more than I like Nobara. Yeah, probably. Honestly, probably. I might need to do some maneuvering around, honestly. I probably should, but for some reason, this page has not been working this entire time. Let me refresh and see if I can get it to actually work. This page has not been cooperating with me this entire time. And now it won't refresh either. Super weird. Something must be going on with my internet, I guess. But yeah, this is the tier list, everybody. This is the tier list. The definitive no-op Jujutsu Kaisen tier list. I do see I've got everyone up in arms. But you know what? It's fine. It's okay. It's fine. My rating broke the list. Yeah, probably. This list should have been on hot take night. What do you mean? I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, it all makes sense. What does Naoya do better than Sukuna? Naoya's entire character as a whole, Naoya's personality, the way that Naoya interacts as the head of the Zenin clan with the people, with the family members around him, the way that he interacts with Maki, and the things that he has with Maki, the things that he says to Maki, the dialogue, the entire vengeful spirit arc in general, where Naoya becomes a vengeful spirit. Naoya is just genuinely a character who I think fits the bill as a hateable villain more than Sukuna. Is Naoya more misogynistic than Sukuna? 110%. Sukuna, if anything, is the most progressive character so fucking far. Sukuna just goes, hey, I like you. You're strong. Let's fight. Now you got fucking Gojo over here. Yeah, you got an extra ligament in your leg muscle, so... I eat everyone equally. Yeah, exactly. Exactamundo. Whew. Yeah, this was a crazy one, guys. This was a crazy one. The tier list is indeed complete. Maybe might need to do some moving around. But yeah. Am I reading donos? Oh my god, I missed... For some reason, YouTube has not been sending any of these to me. I apologize for that, Molly. I just realized that. For some reason, none of these have popped up for me. Weeb Grow, thank you for the $2. Let's go. I got Future Sight, bro. I age, bro. Dion, thank you for being a member for 4 months. Appreciate your constant support always. I'll never forgive you for putting Kashimo above Yuji as a character. This ain't it. I'm sorry, Dion. I've betrayed you. I betrayed you and your black cash. But I'm telling you, Kashimo moves me. Kashimo is one of my fucking favorite characters, bro. Love it. This might be honestly my top 5 right here. 4, 7, 10. This honestly might be my top 5 right here. Might be, might not be. Molly, thank you for the $2. That fight wasn't fair. He got jumped by Sukuna. Who are we talking about? Oh, Ishigori. Is that who we're talking about? I mean, or Kashimo. I know you. I think you were hating on Kashimo. So I don't think you were defending Kashimo. I think you were probably defending Ishigori. Which fair. Ishigori, sad to see him go. Molly, and again, thank you for the 5. Kenjaku is more interesting as the final villain. Sukuna just gonna twiddle his fingers if everyone is dead. Exactly, Molly. That's exactly my point. Oh, Gojo. He got jumped by Sukuna. I guess that's true. He did get fucking he did get fucking outnumbered by Maharaga Agito and Sukuna. But yeah, like, yeah, I agree completely with Kenjaku being a more interesting final villain. Like, if Kenjaku won, the world was gonna end. If Sukuna wins, then Japan is just a more dangerous country than before, because Sukuna's just gonna hang out and be an asshole till he dies again. You know what I mean? Like, and Kusakabe even says as much. He's like, you know, like, I wasn't really worried. Like, if we failed killing Sukuna, the country would just be tougher to exist in. Whereas if we fail killing Kenjaku, we would really be fucked and everyone would die. But yeah, I agree completely. Kenjaku, in my opinion, was the much better villain who fit the overall plot line of the story better. Sukuna had more aura, sure, but yeah, Kenjaku, I think, was a better narrative villain. But anyway, guys, I've been yapping for 3.5 hours. I can't even talk anymore. I'm slurring my words. My throat is dry. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you all so much for hanging out with me for this long stream. We're going to be doing a catch-up stream tomorrow, just predictions on what the new chapter will hold, just talking to the community, seeing what all you guys have to say before we get back into the weekly release schedule. We'll be going over some Reddit reactions again and all that good stuff. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. It helps the stream more than you know. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you have a good rest of the day, a good rest of the night, afternoon, whatever time of the day you're in. I hope you continue to have nothing but good vibes coming your way. And yeah, namaste. Love you guys. Peace, peace. See you tomorrow.